break once more. A warp core breach on this galactic shore. We wait for comms, Latinum's our plea. In this buggy cosmos, we're Starfleet, you see. Star Trek Fleet Commando, the lags are full.
Free rolls incoming. Stand by. Thank you guys for the follow. I see Wally. I see Kaplan. Good to see you guys. Welcome in. We got stuff to talk about today. Lots. Oh, hey, good to see you, buddy. Thanks for the follow, dude.
starships in a straight line, Enterprise out front, chasing daybreak. The dairy decks in a distant ring, Voyager carving through the darkening. We're just sailing through the spaces that we make, flying through space, building new bays, stations where our memories stayed away. On the corner of the quadrant where the warp lanes cross, there's a humble little outpost run by a legend of the sauce. MJ had at the register, phasers set to serve, handing out crunch wraps with a Starfleet level nerve. Customers beaming from every sector, near and far, as Hat calls out orders like a captain on the Star. Number 4 with extra cheese, engage, he proudly states, keeping Taco Bell running smoother than the warp core plates. He's MJ Hat at Taco Bell, only serving where few dare dwell, filling orders at impulse speed, satisfying every need. From the drive-through deck to the sauce packet bay, keeps the whole ship flying through the day. Yeah, the galaxy knows him well, the Starfleet hero of Taco Bell. Klingons want the fire sauce, Vulcans keep it plain. Romulans ask for nacho fries again and again. Hat handles every species with diplomacy and grace. A true Federation officer in a fast food place. When the fryer starts shaking like a warp core breach, Hat grabs a triker to catch just within reach. Stabilize the temp, he's as calm as can be. And the kitchen crew cheers, that's our Hat, you see. He's MJ Hat at Taco Bell, only serving where few dare dwell, keeping peace across the stars with burritos in hand. A culinary commander of this spicy command. From the nebula nights to the lunchtime swell, he's the legend, the myth, the Hat of Taco Bell.
Mrs. C, thank you for the follow.
He's MJ Hat at Taco Bell, only serving where few dare dwell, keeping peace across the stars with burritos in hand. A culinary commander of this spicy command. From the nebula nights to the lunchtime swell, he's the legend, the myth, the Hat of Taco Bell.
Guys, welcome in. Let that sound alert go through. Good to see you, Asian boy. Good to see you. Yes, guys, the stage in the Discord server is open. ! Discord if you would like to join us while I transition. Before we do anything, though, there is something that I want to, and the timer's clicking down. We're going to transition here. Boom. Wilson, good to see you, buddy. Welcome in. I have something that I want to put on the air for just a second, and I'm going to ask for just a moment.
You know my hats want
I'll
your
wait for
ads.
Thank you,
Message
Simon.
at MJ Hat in every Discord for me.
I'm going to ask for a moment of silence, okay? Because we lost a legend today. So, hats off, guys. Just a moment for Peter Cullen. Thank you, guys. I appreciate that. Welcome in. If you didn't know, we've lost a couple of legends this week. We lost Dolly Parton, but Peter Cullen, he is or he was rather a instrumental part of the science fiction community, and I'll wait. 2 many in 2 days. That's right, Hemhadar. That's right. Guys, just thank you for that. Thank you. Sorry. Welcome in. If you don't know who I am, my name is MJ Hat, and I am here today because we got a couple of things we've got to talk about. And the first thing we're going to do, yep, there's a shout out for Darktree. Here, let me just go to the game, to the other scene, because that just works better. That just works better. All right. So yes, I've got it on display for a reason. I know you can see my screen because bam. While this is while we're doing the shout outs and stuff, let that go through. We've got a couple of things to talk about. First off, today there was an announcement, and I'll blow this up a little bit so that you guys can see it a lot better. Let's make it bigger there. So, feedback has gotten through. There was a list built in our VIP Discord, and several factors got put onto this list. It is a wonderful change. It is a nice thing. I honestly, I'm very happy to see that we're talking about stuff. But again, I want to stress this. This wasn't one content creator. This wasn't one player. This wasn't any kind of just any single person. We as a community came together and we put together this list, and it got tossed up to Cameron Stewart. And well, here we are. Imagine, you're right, Wally. PvP is an interesting topic, and we are going to talk about it. RSTJ caught the interview. Thank you. We'll be talking about the interview here shortly. Let's start from the top, okay? Forbidden Tech. Forbidden Tech currently stops at 55. No way to advance it through level 60. Work is in progress and has been in progress for a little while now. On a solution that will allow progression through level 60. This is planned for an upcoming release. That's wonderful news. I do have the stage open. I've got Taco, Rage, and Shockwave on stage with me right now. Guys, let me get a sound check. I haven't heard you guys, and I need to make sure you're coming through. You are not. Okay, so just a second. Now you should be. Go for
Your
it.
mama wears army boots.
Testing.
Yep, we're good now.
Make sure to
Okay.
ping MJ Hat.
Don't start that. Don't start that. I would add some stuff to the list, says Wilson. Yeah. The Forbidden Tech has been left alone for years, says RSTJ. Yeah. Man, look, it needs to be fixed. We've been trying to max this stuff for a long time. I don't think it's an issue that's what we're doing. Let me get the background music going because I migrated away from the website like a dummy. So let me just, there we go. So exclamation point SR to add your song request to the list. I know it's a full display capture. It's that way for a reason. All right. So after that, we've got Alliance communications, right? Alliance-wide messages. Admirals, OA, looking at you. Shy, looking at you. Any of you that are admirals out there in the chat, right? You guys are going to be able to start sending messages in your alliance. Go ahead, Shock. I heard you there, buddy.
Oh, I lost you on my end for a second. I was about to ask the chat if we lost MJ.
No,
Nope.
5x5 as far as I can tell.
Just on your side.
This will be for admirals and commodores. I think that that's also an interesting change. It is something we've been asking for. I think that there's going to be an alliance update down the road, but we all know that's not what's coming next. What's coming next is been leaked already. It's planetary bases, and I'm curious where you guys stand on that. But that's for later in the line. Okay, officer ability text and tooltips. They're not always consistent. Standardized changes were recently introduced that primarily address formatting and consistency. Additional work is underway to establish a consistent standard across existing and future officer text. Cool. As long as they're right. In future updates, this is the important part of that. Red triangle hostiles will be referred to as standard hostiles, replacing non-armada. Standard damage will be used in place of the broader damage term. Standard and standard. I think that's a good change. I wish Crucito was here because I absolutely would like to shout out Crucito. He brought something to our list here, and I'm specifically going to shout him out because, yes, I asked for this too in my first meeting with Cam. And this upon his suggestion, mind you, he was the one that gave it to me, and he gave it to VIP. Housing for filters on your galaxy map. That's huge. How many times are we in game right here? Let me just pull up the game right fast. How many times are we in game, right? And we are looking for a place that, oh no, if I don't have an alliance mate out here somewhere docked in one of these billions of systems, right? If I don't have an alliance mate out here, then how do I know if there's housing there? Like, sure, let's just pick a place at random. Most of these little ones have them, but here, Yasa, does this one have housing? I don't know. Let's see. There goes Barkman. Barkman's been ejected from the chat already.
You set course instead of just looking inside the system?
Yeah,
Noob.
of course. Yeah, well, shut up. Shut up. Not the point. I want purple and purple violence, says Wilson. Why? Are you trying to shoot me, bro? Don't shoot me. Please don't shoot me. Cruz has been for the last year asking for that one. Yeah. Is that really a problem? I don't know if it's a problem, but more like quality of life, dude. More like quality of life. It's not a problem. Moving on. Point made, dude. Moving on. Officer Depot tokens. One recurring request has been to bring back the Officer Depot token store. An updated Officer Depot token system is being considered. It's not promised here. It is being considered for a future release. The goal is to reintroduce choice with officer badges included among the available options. That would be great. Any update would also include adjustments to the balance and role of the Officer Depot system. Listen, when they took it away, I originally had suggested an RNG kind of bucket system, right? Like where we had it all in buckets before. We had the walks, then we had the mirrors, then we had Voyager, then we had Next Gen, yada yada yada, so on and so forth. An RNG factor to those bundles was what I pitched up. I don't know what they're doing with this, but in all reality, if there's any semblance of choice for officer recruits, that's a win. Hands down. Hey, Martok, good to see you, buddy. Old holodeck missions for all. RSDJ, you will die on that hill. Did we already discuss the stuff? Not yet, Corey. I was waiting till we got more people in purposely. Multiphasic credit value. We're going over the patch notes that released today first. And then we've got a couple of things to discuss. You're good. No worries, Corey. G7 players have asked for multiphasics to better reflect the value and progression needs of their grade, including an increase to the number of credits provided. What's up, Dragon? Good to see you. Good to see you, man. Welcome in. We will be updating the contents of G7 bundles redeemed with multiphasic credits to increase the value they provide. The Syndicate pack will also receive an adjustment. That's a win. Hey, Cruzito, was just talking about you. Again, guys, the Discord stage is open if you guys want to join up. We are going to be talking about something serious here shortly. The number of multiphasics included in each bundle will not change. Multiphasic credit amounts are tied to the bundle's purchase price across the game. Yada, yada. We will always increase the value of the credits through these bundles. Okay, well, cool. Look, that's a win. I know, again, I'm going to call Cruzito here. I don't know about that, Wally. Wally says G7 was a copy and paste of G6. I disagree. I think G7 was exponentially lengthened, right? Like within the first 2 weeks, we had players at 70 when G6 came out. That is not the case here. You can't buy your way. Well, you could, but it would be a lot of money. A lot of money. And people just aren't willing to invest that. And I don't blame them. Syndicate buffs. Feedback on Syndicate buff have focused on whether their buffs provide enough progression for G7. Syndicate buffs released prior to the release of G7 were balanced around the state of the game at that time, similar to the various other buffs released through artifacts, research, and other sources. A new Syndicate expansion is not currently on the roadmap, but we do expect to expand the system in the future. Any future Syndicate levels will be banned. I'm getting tongue-tied today. Will be balanced with the G7 progression in mind. Correction. An earlier version of this blog stated the current max Syndicate levels was 71 through 80. Yeah, that's not. That was a typo. So what this says is they're really not making any changes to it at this time, but they are going to down the road. G7 needs a different set of modifiers. I think that's how we say that. Refit abilities for the Vengeance. KA, welcome in. Well, normal people wouldn't go from 60 to 70 in 2 weeks, even if it was cheaper. No, they wouldn't. The Cloak, Warp, and Summon refit abilities for the Vengeance will be included in future Alliance tournament runs. Guys, that's a win. That right there is huge. That's a big win. So now, hey, Caledon, Izzy, welcome in. Good to see you. I agree, finally. Listen, I just got my Vengeance. Okay. Last week, 2 weeks ago, somewhere in there. I'm almost tier 4. And I'm going to tell you now, I was worried about having to complete this RLB and win first place in order to get one of these 3 abilities. Corey, you'll have it in no time then. You'll have it in no time. Maybe even today. So, I need those credits for the Shickle. Well, yeah. The Gilded Shackle, absolutely. Absolutely. But pick and choose, right? Like, I want the summon ability. I think that's going to be helpful. It's always a pick and choose, Wilson. Caledon says, all hail Haku and officer sourcing tokens. I'm not thrilled about a re-imaging since it worked, but I'll take anything that has choice. Izzy says, I'm focusing on the shackle first, then abilities, right? I spent it all to place 4th in the regional, so I'll skip this one. Ooh. Shockwave says, summoning's very helpful. I love it. Caledon says, KA says, I'm just surprised there's no Alliance tournament this week. Well, honestly, after we had 3 in the course of 4 weeks, I wouldn't be surprised if we don't get another one for a minute. Just truthfully. That's just an opinion. I don't know that. Here's the meat and potatoes. This is the one you guys wanted to talk about. So, repeated, targeted PvP. Being repeatedly targeted by the same opponent over time can leave players with limited ways to respond through current gameplay and support options. As STFC approaches its 8th anniversary, we are reviewing how repeated, targeted PvP is handled in-game. This includes near-term policy and support options, as well as longer-term gameplay ideas that could create more meaningful ways to respond when targeting continues over time. What does that mean to you? Chat. Fuck moving the veil. All right, chat. What are we thinking about this? Like, what are your thoughts? Get rid of rogues, says Jeff. I mean, I don't know what this system looks like. So I'm honestly kind of curious myself. Shockwave, let me come to you right quick. How does this read to you? What does this say to you?
This reads to me that I don't think they're talking about a player by player. When I read this, I see it being vague. I don't think it's person A is targeting person B so much as that there is a crew that many people use. That's the Cheez-It Speed crew. We all know it. We all love it. ENTE Riker, Curon, and then SNW Una with Dane underneath. It'll jack your speed up like crazy.
Right.
When I read this, it seems to indicate to me that might be the approach that they're taking, because the crew will go from person to person to person very, very quickly, very, very fast. And you can essentially, you got a strong enough vengeance in there and you're going up against an alliance that, you know, doesn't have a lot of strong players. You can clear a system pretty quickly with minimal power just because your officers have speed all over them. So to me, this is kind of, I think this might be their way of saying, we know that this is a problem. I don't know that for sure, but that's probably where I think they might be going with this in particular.
Taco, let's come to you, man. What are you thinking?
It sounds to me, it sounds like PvP players might start getting punished for having fun in this game.
Yeah.
Because
Rage?
I don't target anyone. Don't have a specific target. Well, I kind of do, but I max it in with the other 70 to 100 ships I kill per day.
So, okay, fair. Rage, what about you? How does this read to you?
I don't know. It reads to me like maybe if somebody's getting grief, they might get some sort of defensive buff. Like some people do like to punch down all the time and hit the same people. And maybe that's more what they're trying to target.
So, I want to
Not
grab a couple of
necessarily
things.
the PvP of same ops hitting the same people, but like maybe somebody camped outside their base all the time and hitting every ship that comes back.
I want to grab a couple of things from the chat right fast. Caledon says, I'm okay with PvP, but PvP in the Veil when he runs away and I can't clap back sucks. Wilson says, better not be like their reviews of other things. Oh, we're going to talk about that. Fullman says, just tighten the PvP bans. G5 can't touch G7. Taco says, time to start killing with Badgie. Doom says, that's not how I read that at all. Doom, tell me how you read it in chat, buddy. Wally says, strategy game? Question mark. It seems, NVIDIA says, it seems like they are finally trying to figure out an anti-bullying response other than get good, scrum. Wilson says, if I want to shut down a mission system, then beat me. Beat me. Fair. Honestly, good responses. Only place I can hit below 51 is in territory. Yeah, that happens, Wally, when you get ops up. Jim Pie says maybe they're going to try and stop the punching babies version of what 99% of STFC PvP is. I mean, OPC is OPC, bro. I'm going to go out and hunt OPC miners. Just is what it is. Chat like that. They are trying to do something about griefers, Doom says. The punch down kings. Izzy said PvP band is nice and all, but I want lower levels to be able to raid some of the bases that I cracked. It helped their accounts. Fair, Izzy. Fair. That's the point, guys. I think Rage might be the closest here. I think we're talking about you hit the same player over and over and over again. Not necessarily the same alliance, but if you're hitting the same player, and I'm not talking about their base, I'm not talking about raiding, I'm talking about their ships out in space.
Just
Say you
straight
hit 'em
griefing a player.
say you
Yeah,
hit
I've
the
got
same
a.
person 10 times, then maybe they get a buff of some sort. That's how I'm reading it. Go ahead, Shock.
No, that one was me.
Finish
Sorry.
Cruz.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So MJ, I think that's it,
Cruzeiro.
right? One of the things when you're looking at the game, um, and if you go back, and again, I know people are tired of hearing about going back in the day, but PvP was part of the game, and it was actually fun.
Yeah.
Part of that was because there was the puncher's chance, if you will, right? Good crewing made it an impact. Triangle was an impact. Nowadays, it doesn't matter, right? I go out there, and anybody that's in my band that's below me, they don't have a chance to kill me if they wanted to, right? That's just not an option for them.
Right.
And I've seen it on my alliance, right? Like we lost a member um, recently because there is we'll call him an assertive, right? I don't know if aggressive is the right way, but there's an assertive player that plays the game as it's designed. If you're in my bracket, I can hit you, and it's up to the game. That's what they built, so I'm going to go and hit you. Um, and a lot of players put into it row. Of like, hey, if you're no loot, no shoot, or in Taco's case, hey, guy, if I want to hit you just because I'm bored that day. All of those can have some fun depending on whether you're the target or or you're the prey or the predator.
Right.
But I do think to some extent it does get tiresome, right? If you're out trying to get your dailies done and it's like, man, I only had the 10 minutes before reset, I've got to go knock them out. And then you've got somebody that I know they had talked about it, right? I got to get my missions done. I got to get dailies done. And there's
Yep.
just somebody camping the edge of the system and just popping you as soon as you come in, right? For no other reason than I want to chase PD. Again, not saying that other person isn't having fun doing it, but I'm on the other side. You're like, dude, really? Like, can you not just let me do my thing? So I think what's going to probably happen is maybe more along the lines of the reporting part, right? If you notice, we only have just report, but that doesn't say anything, right? There's not really what are we reporting it for?
Right.
And so depending on how that plays out, I think it can be something along those lines. Like, look, I'm trying to do my thing. This player keeps hitting me. Maybe they monitor it, see what's going on there. I am afraid though, and I'm sure I don't know if you were going to talk about it, but I'm sure you'll bring it up later.
I'm
I
gonna
am
talk about it.
afraid of, I'm afraid of the situation that you're probably going to bring up here in a little bit, in which,
Oh yeah.
I find me a fat, juicy base, or I find me, somebody that's OPC by a couple million, and I'm going to pop them. And if you happen to keep going back to the same place every day at the same time, and I need that stuff, I'm going to get it.
Right.
And I would hope that the game doesn't then retaliate against me or allow a retaliation because I didn't bubble up or I couldn't, whatever it is. And
You
then
think it's
they
gonna
start.
count it if you kill once a day, every
Yeah, I don't
day?
know. Yeah, I think there's probably going to be something. There's some analytics that you can look at, right? If you have player A hitting player B and it's like 150, 250 times a day in different systems and they're chasing them down, yeah, I think that there's probably something they can do. If it's the
That.
fact that you didn't bubble, that's a different story, right? But there are
Yeah.
analytics that can help with that.
So let me a couple of things from the chat. Okay, Taco, go ahead, and I'll go from chat. Go ahead, because you're
I
right.
was gonna say, like, I do agree with what Cruz saying, but I hope that they don't target it alliances that have marked other alliances KOS and are in a non-stop war. Because if you're gonna target players that are doing what they're supposed to do, like if the other alliance is KOS and they're repeatedly killing them, they should not be punished because they have that alliance marked. But if they're not marked, I understand that. But if you have the enemy um icon on, then those players should not be punished for farmers not liking their pixels being blown up.
Yeah,
Agreed.
Yeah,
I think that makes sense, Taco. I think that makes
I think
sense.
there's something else that we need to address too is territory. Because if you're in with territory, you see plenty of the same person repeatedly because they keep sending their ships back in. So that's
Yeah.
going to be
Yeah.
something too that they need to keep in mind, because Taco and Cruz brought up a great point with that, especially with KOS marking and with base rating. But another issue they're going to run into if that's the route they go is the numbers of encounter of player A, B, and C in a territory battle.
Yeah.
yeah. And MJ, there is one other thing, and I don't know how deep folks look into it, right? But there is one thing, and you have to go find it. But when you look at the terms of service of plane, there's a little bit of language that talks about player versus player activities, and it's essentially an anti-bullying scenario, right? And I don't necessarily like using that term because that has some real meaning into it. But it's kind of that language, right, of preventing players from progressing or doing whatever it is just for that, right? And the language is very, very broad, I think on purpose. But it seems to me that there's a reason they changed the banding. It had nothing to do with the power thing or any of that, right? It's that you had lower level players continually getting popped by larger players for no other reason than, I think, who was it? Was it you, Shockwave, or who was it that said, basically punching down to babies, or maybe that was Jim Pie, right?
I
Like
think that's
that is
Jim
a very real thing. Yeah, that's a very real thing, right? So there is some aspect to the TOS, and a lot of that is that they have maybe they're trying to expand it, and there are some things that when you're looking at Apple or Google or those kind of things,
Yeah.
they're very real on those stances. So
Very
maybe
good
that's part
points.
of it.
Very good points. There's a couple of things from chat. Let's see here. It sucks when you're in a barrel, but everyone loves being on the outside of it. True, Doom. Max says if it's the same ops range, then not a good idea. But someone griefing on someone 10 ops levels lower than you, so then yes, it fits. Jim Pie says a griefer will simply mark everyone KOS to bypass that in regards to being able to mark somebody. I think you can only mark so many, can't you? Not sure.
You can mark
Message
the whole
Robert
server.
said,
I've done it before.
Wally says, is Twitch messing up, guys? Because Wally's having problems.
Nope.
Nope.
Looks fine. It's been going fine for me.
Okay.
No issues.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Guys, this one's a little bit of a hot topic, right? Because we all enjoy a little bit of PvP. Now, some more than others. Looking at you, Taco. Me personally, I'm more of a PvE guy. I'm the guy that gets on in the middle of the night and grinds. My alliance can attest to that. They can attest to that. Taco is a wimp, says Doom. Fair. Corey says, same ops doesn't matter. People's accounts may not be built for PvP. Right. None of us know what Scopely's intent on this is yet, says Jim Pie. Fair point, man. Fair point. But we're speculating. Okay, that's the idea here. Wilson. Now you're hurting my feelings.
Yep. Just sparking a conversation, coming up with some ideas, theories. Yep.
In all seriousness, guys, don't forget about the challenge I've got going on. If we can fill that up, you'll get your channel points back, right? But if you can fill up that bar in the redeem section for the culture merch, we'll make the culture jar merch. Just saying. And I really want to make that. So please don't forget to contribute your 2,000 per stream. Anyway, KA says people even complain in incursions about PvP hitting up or down. There will always be complainers, regardless. True.
There are
True.
people in incursion that don't even know there's an incursion happening. So there's
True again. True again.
What's an incursion?
Oh my lord, the rage. No, not doing that. Not doing that. So, in any case, you're right. We don't have specifics yet, but this is something we're going to need to watch out for the next little bit. Leaderboard rewards. Feedback about leaderboard rewards centers on the increasing number of placements that receive high tier rewards. The current leaderboard structure will remain in place at this time. They are considering alternatives. Blah blah blah. 7-day and 30-day chests contain older officer and ship rewards that some players would like updated for G5 plus progression. I don't think I need another Devore. Does anybody else need a Devore here?
I do not.
Yeah, I don't.
What's a Devore?
Yep.
Maybe they
Event
should
store
just add
tokens.
transigen to that.
Event store tokens will not replace the current officer and blueprint rewards in the 7 and 30-day loyalty chests. Their value and availability change from release to release. New G5 Plus options for Carol, Kingser, and the Devore will be reviewed for inclusion in a future update. Adding resources like Trit, Steel, and Dill is not currently planned for these chests. Basically, that says we're not making any changes yet. Okay. Offer pop-ups. Yada, yada, yada. Frequent offer pop-ups are bad. Changes tomorrow, I'm assuming. I assume the update's tonight, right? So tomorrow. The timer will be increased and should persist between sessions. A new offer may trigger a pop-up before the period is explained. Great. Transitions. They're going to get better. The game's going to not freeze as much. Claim all. Blah, 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 blah. So, that I'm just going to stop right there on that. And here's the why. Okay. Here's the why. We need to move forward. I know that. Okay, hold on. It's been a while, but in G5, did you need a Devore? No, you did not. No, you did not. You needed a Fisha in G4. So, that's a whole nother conversation. Where is my Discord? Because I have the list there. I see we've got Corey on the stage too. What's up, Corey? Didn't know you were on the stage. Appreciate you, bud. Where did my list go? Oh, that's my list. There it is. Okay. Most of you have seen the interviews that have been coming out from the CCs, yada yada, as I wrestle an infant. In my interview, Cameron did leak that planetary bases were going from 94 to 95, and that seasons were moving from 95 to 96. Shockwave, I'm going to start with you, and I'm going to go around the panel. Tell me what your thoughts were on some of these videos coming out.
I think the openness of communication has been great. For a while, many of you on the panel and in the audience know one of the big things I've been going on about in briefings recently on the panel there is communication and letting us know what's coming. Because a lot of people are worried about the state of the game. We are worried about the game that we love to hate to love, however you want to phrase it. We're worried about where things are going. And now more than ever, we need open communication about what's coming down the line. And what I've even said, because one of the things that other players have come back with me on is, well, they're not going to say that because you might not buy the shiny new thing. I'm here, my response was always to say, who gives a shit? Because if the game shuts down because people are unhappy, then nobody is going to be buying the next shiny new thing of anything. We're going to be moving on to a new game. So the fact that he opened up and said planetary bases got moved, that gave us a peek. And that's all we've ever wanted. That's all I have ever wanted when I'm saying, I don't want the full rundown, what everything does. Give me a peek behind the curtain of what's coming. That way you keep that appetite satiated, right? It keeps people guessing. It keeps people wondering. And he even did one step further and said, hey, Seasons is going to start in M96. So he gave us not 1, but 2 months. That's what I have been wanting for a long, long time. So I appreciated that openness of communication, even if it's just the next 2 months and even if it's just scratching the surface, which is great because people just want to know what's coming next. And there's been no company previously that has played their cards closer to the vest without needing to at all than STFC Division of Scopely. or Scopely's STFC division. Sorry.
Right. Shockwave, I mean, I'm right there with you, man. I'm happy that he was. I'm happy that I was the one, even. You know, that's pretty cool that he decided to give that leak to. Okay, mine was one of the first ones to be recorded and the first ones to get out the door. So that is awesome. But what about some of these other content creator videos? I know we had Ultravetica, Jules Verne, Quasel and Pseudo, DJs. I mean, there's so many of these media tour, quote unquote, videos that have come out. Yep, Baby Shark. I didn't watch them all, says Corey. Well, there is a playlist on YouTube. I don't have the link myself, but if somebody, yeah, DJs was long. Quasel and Pseudos were also an hour. What's up, Mike? Good to see you, buddy. Thank you for the follow, dude. Yeah, there. I mean, look, it's several hours of content, right? It's several hours of listening to this man talk. So I'm not against it. I honestly think it's good. The more conversation we can have is better. So don't knock it till you try it. I have some info about cam stuff on my topic also. Cool. Well, I'm glad you're on the stage to share that when we get there. Jules was interesting about the tools, wasn't it though, Wilson? And that's what I'm saying. That like there's so many.
I wish I listened to MJ. Don't tell him that.
Yeah, you should have, Ruby.
Don't tell MJ I said that. I wish I listened.
You should have listened. You should have listened. No, I think that as he's finally getting acclimated, and I know he's been around a minute now, right? Like several months at this point. Not pretending he's not, okay? But as we're finally getting acclimated and we're finally getting in and talking to the player base, he's talking to CCs, he's talking to players, he's talking to tool creators, he's talking to everybody. He's also firing people. There are people gone just cuz. So, this is good. This is a good change. I think that it's, you want to know who did that? Shockwave did that. Because I was right. Don't be scared. It's fine. It's fine. Yeah, I can see who did it. Ruby, I'll send you a screenshot. Don't worry about it. I got you, my inglorious sister. No. But let's be real for a minute, okay? Because honestly, if you haven't watched them, you should. Some of them have good information in them. So that's my pitch for people to go watch the CC videos. I am slowly seeing change, but Cam may not want to hear from me. Why, Wilson? Why? Because as long as we're being constructive and we're not like screaming, allergic to DJ streams, some people are. Some people are, Legion or Doom. Hey, that's okay. There's so many different content creators now. You can have a flavor of your choice. Maybe I'm not the guy for everybody, right? But hey, the option is still there. There's so many of us now. So, it's a win. It's a win. Having super support, super. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. Appreciate that a lot. Guys, y'all want to add anything about the interviews before we move on?
Yeah, I'll drop a little bit. But go ahead, Taco.
I was going to say the one thing that Ultravetica's video, he talks a lot about APAC, how they need more support, and I think everything that Cameron was saying in that video, I hope that APAC servers get more support that they need. They need to pump up the population in APAC. There should not be less than 10 or 11,000 players in APAC. So I truly hope that Scopely does do something to fix that.
Fair. Cruz?
So, I think I've talked to you, MJ, about it, right? I'm very critical on Scopely on how communication gets out, right? I think it should come from them directly. But I've also said if they're going to use their content creators as the communication apparatuses, then they need to support them. So for me, this is a first good start at that, right? You mentioned the fact that each content creator has their own flavor, has their own communities and what they care about, if you will. So I've watched every single one so far, just because I want to go and hear Cam talk about each of those things and how he reacts, right? So, we've seen some apology videos, we've seen some other stuff out there, and a lot of it is scripted. You can tell when it's not genuine, if you will, right? Because you can see somebody say something and you don't see those facial tics or those things move. Uh, I can say that, at least in all the videos I've seen, every one of them has been genuine responses to any questions that were asked, even if he had them ahead of time, if you will. So, you know, for me, I kind of geeked out a little bit on Quasels and Pseudos just because that's my wheelhouse. That's the stuff that I like to hear. I did enjoy hearing yours as well, right? I think it's a little bit different flavor, just different community. So, the fact that he is going out there and talking to you guys who are closest to the community, I think is a good start. I think there should be potentially, as other people have mentioned, I think that maybe there should be some sort of direct things, right? Going into the discords and having a Discord takeover or those kind of things.
Agreed.
At the same time, I also would be very hesitant to do that with the community because hey, look, we're passionate and sometimes our emotions get the best of us. And
Right.
I think you said it best and he said it. I want to hear everything that is going on that you may not like. But if you're also going to come at me with a complaint, tell me how you would fix it. Give me that solution. And I think that's important, right? If you're not going to come to me and tell me how you would potentially fix it or how you think it would make it better, then you're doing nothing but bitching. And I don't think that that's constructive and I don't think that helps anybody.
Shy, no one's calling TRK clowns at all. What we're saying is there's a video that Corey has seen and he thinks it's me. It's not me, but it's of a clown getting dunked into water. It wasn't about TRK, I promise. Lady for Two, good to see you. C Engineering, welcome in. It's not me, Corey. It is not me. Best interviewer was Mini Hat. Some important questions from that little lady. It might have been Taco. Simon says, I think identifying an issue respectfully is constructive, even if you don't have a solution. Well, it's about how you say it to them, Simon. As silly as that sounds, right? X-Force, good to see you, buddy. Welcome in. As silly as that sounds, it's literally about how you say it to them. Guys, I think I'm gonna jump past because we're about an hour in, and we'll come back to that second topic. But I know people are waiting to talk about what happened to Rec. Is Rec here by chance? Because I had asked him to join us.
Let me put on slow mode in chat for that.
Yep. Okay, so guys, we are temporarily going to activate slow mode for a reason. I'm going to shoot a ping to Rec, and there he is. Good deal, good deal. I'm going to invite Rec up to the stage. This, ladies and gentlemen, this is Rectangle. He is a member of the Super Alliance on the server36. And Rec, I would like for you to give us your experience over the past few days, if you can.
Good evening, gentlemen.
Let me turn your volume up. Go for it.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you fine.
Excellent. Good evening, gentlemen. If you could invite Away as well, he could help with that.
Sure.
He should be somewhere in the audience.
I got him.
And
Go for
Corey
it.
as well.
Corey's already on stage.
Excellent. So what has happened was one of our members, Wrath, he was randomly banned on the game. The reason he was given was that he was allegedly using a bot, some sort of third-party software. Now, Wrath and I, we've been using for years. We've been playing for years together. Now, I was sure he wasn't botting. And at the same time, our rival alliance in the same server, they were threatening to get us banned for a long time. Now, at some point, they knew that Wrath was banned before we knew that Wrath was banned. So we've confronted Wrath about it. We've asked him, what happened? Did you use anything? And he was adamant that he was innocent of this. So we tried to clear him. We essentially messaged every single CM that we could, but nobody could help. Nobody knew what happened. It's just everybody was convinced that he was using some sort of third-party software, some sort of a bot, essentially. We were told that there's hard evidence, he's botting, this is confirmed, it's been checked, and there's nothing we can do. Now, we told them this is most likely as a cause of some sort of a mass report action, where they would just report him, and I guess the reports reached some sort of an arbitrary number, and he received an automated ban. Allegedly, that's not what happened. Supposedly, that's not how it goes. But we told them that this is going to happen again, and that either myself or OA will be next. So we kept trying to fix it the whole weekend. We were unable to do so. On Monday morning, I tried to log in, and I get greeted by the same exact message. You have been suspended for third-party usage. Now, in the whole alliance, we've always been against using any sort of bots because, well, it devalues the time you put into the game. The game asks you to put in a lot of time. So we never cheat like that. It's just not our thing. But yet, I was accused of that. So same story goes again. We message literally everybody, and we get the same response. You've been caught cheating. You've been using a bot. Now it's not my thing. Anybody that plays with me, that knows me, knows that that's literally everything I stand against. But
hold that thought for just a second. Hold that thought for just a second. Tibbs, buddy, thank you for the raid. We're having a serious conversation today. Again, thank you for raiding in, you and your 82 viewers. I appreciate that. Right now, we're talking about a series of bans that occurred on my server, and I've got one of the people up on stage. His name is Rec. Rec, please continue. Sorry, I just wanted to thank Tibbs.
If you could please put OA on the stage as well, he'll help me tell the story.
I shot him an invite, so that's on him to accept it.
He says, I'm in the audience. He didn't get me on the stage yet.
All right, I'll try again. Yeah, there it is. He's got it.
I'm here. Apologies.
Okay.
So continuing with the story. So I'm in a situation where I can't log in. So by the way, for the record, I took a break and I came back last month. I've been playing every single day, doing my best to catch up on the game. I mean, I'm behind on 6 specialty ships, 5 buildings. It takes forever to get all the stuff to click. So, I'm grinding many hours a day. You have 3 ships with Kirshara, you have 4 ships mining, you have another ship doing Armada, something, right? And meanwhile, I'm still in the chat, like I'm interacting with the Alliance, because somebody's always saying something. So, all right,
yeah.
Back to what I said, I got banned. I did nothing wrong. I've never used any third-party software, and I'm super confused. But I figured what happened to me most likely is what happened to Wrath. So I reach out to, again, every single person that I could, and nobody can help. The response that I got was that, well, it looks like you've been caught using third-party software. There's nothing we can do. So I asked, guys, I'm telling you, I didn't do any of that. I didn't break any terms of service. Who can I contact to get this resolved? Can somebody please look at me playing, look at the gameplay? If you just take 5 minutes to look at me playing, you will see that it's not a bot. Right. I'm playing, I'm interacting with the Alliance, I'm constantly talking, I'm answering private messages, but nobody would even listen to me.
Well, and for the record, Wilson says I even reached out to a CM. Lots of people reached out to CMs and beyond to find out what was going on, and it was radio silence. I got a couple of answers, but it wasn't nothing I can't contribute anything here, because what I was told was, okay, there were some reports, but it's not just for the reports, and that's all they'd say to me. Fair. OA, I see you trying to jump in there, man. Go ahead.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't want to cut you off.
You're good.
Yeah, and I think that black box was a really big part of this from a player perspective, because as you noted, we were all reaching out to CMs and any connections we had to try to get information. And the answer was, too bad. The moderators banned you. You're out of luck. And they wouldn't review it. There just didn't seem to be any process to review such a, quite frankly, egregious penalty to the player. And so it leaves you with this very frustrating position as a team, and certainly as a player like Rec and Wrath, about what do you do when they won't even engage in you about the ban and what caused the ban, right? And it took us a week to get those bans lifted. So, to me, it leaves kind of two things that have been on my mind as we've gone through this process, right? And one is, what's Scopely needs to change the process it uses to ban or punish people, because right now it's just a black box and you find out after the fact if you've been banned.
Yep.
So there needs to be some communication of, hey, to the player, we're opening an investigation on you, right, for X, whatever X is, and we will reach out to you once we've come to, with our findings. Then secondly, get to the player with their findings and allow a chance for them to defend whatever the accusations are, whatever the evidence might say.
Right.
And, that all seems quite reasonable, I think, to probably anyone on the stream here, but yet that is far from what they do, right? It comes in after the fact, and you no ability to defend or even find out what evidence they claim to have had. And so I think that's really important. Sorry.
It is. Oh, wait, you're fine. You're fine, dude. It's a real casual thing we're doing here. Okay, so don't worry about it. Chronox is the one I was thinking of. Yeah, he's the one that runs STFC.pro. He originally received a ban for using the API. He eventually got permission. Filler, I know you're here with us too, man. You had something I believe you wanted to contribute to this conversation as well. If you are able to unmute at this moment, I know you're busy.
No, I'm not busy. I made time for this.
Cool.
I woke up the other morning with a message from Rec about it. So I spent the entire day working on it. A lot of people just completely walled up at Scopely. People that I've known for years, people that's invited me to their house to come visit them at their house personally, wouldn't even respond to me about this stuff. And even when we're like, okay, fine, we'll take it to Cam, there were staffers that was like, it wouldn't be in your best interest to do something like that. So it was just a huge disconnect because I've known Rec through the game for years. I don't really know Wrath that well. I was leaning towards I didn't think that Rec was cheating, but at the end of the day, you don't know. You don't know what somebody does in their house unless you're there seeing it. But I felt good enough to be able to, put myself out there, to try to get something right at there. And when most of my complaints that I put forth wasn't so much that I know Rec's not cheating, mine was like, hey, I think something's wrong with the process. How does the process work? Is this an automated thing? Is a computer doing this? Is a computer just running a script saying, oh, well, we see this or we see that, and then just automatically banning people? Well, at least got that answer. No, a human has to make the ban. So they do have tools and software that runs in the background that looks for cheating-esque behavior, and then
as they should.
They're supposed to investigate past that. But it looks like what really was happening was whoever that person at Scopely was, which I never found that out, whoever the person was that entered the bans just took the report from their tools, their softwares, their scanners, whatever the hell it is they're using, and just started banning down the list without any investigation whatsoever. And
you see, that's the part I have a problem with. That part right
that
there.
is part, yeah, me too. And the biggest problem I have with this is this game is already in so much trouble. They went ahead and just banned because the software said that this person was doing shit they weren't supposed to be doing, right? without any investigation, without anything else, and just a brick wall with every CM. It went way high. It went way, way, way high. And to that staffer that didn't want to talk to Cam about it, too bad. Cam got that information this afternoon, and Cam will be reviewing it himself.
Yep.
So
I know that multiple people, not just there's a few that are here that actually reached out to him as well. It wasn't just one person. Multiple people went to Cameron on Rex's behalf, on Wrath's behalf, and that right there that speaks volumes to me. Okay, this isn't okay. That we all okay. Let me be careful how I say this, right? I'm going to quote a particular CM, and I'm not going to say which one for reasons, but a CM said, I can understand that it's frustrating that after you've spent thousands of dollars in your account, or you've put all this time into your account, doesn't necessarily have to be money, it can be time invested too, that without any due diligence, any kind of way to know what the process is, how do you go about it, what you're supposed to do, they just ban you, and you hear nothing. They have your email. I'm assuming there was still. I remember, Rec, I asked you to keep an eye on your email. Did you ever receive any emails?
I have not.
Okay, so they did not contact you. That's the reason I wanted to talk about this tonight.
And here's another issue, MJ. So at some point I got pretty desperate, and I said, could you guys at least please tell me what it is that I did wrong? Because in my mind I did nothing wrong. And if I'm to continue playing this game, the same thing is going to happen to me again, and I'm going to get banned again for something that I don't even know what I did. So how can you put in the time and the effort and in some cases money when you're just going to get banned again? Like no reasonable person is going to do that.
Mrs. C in chat says there should never be a ban or punishment of any kind without proper investigation by a human. Wilson, I'm told that they're going to make him whole. I don't know the specifics on that, but that is what I'm told. Let's see. Ruby says, why does Scopely believe that a mass report on a player should equal a automatic ban when it could be politically motivated instead of doing a thorough investigation on an account for a legitimate ban? How many did get banned without reason? This is not a question over the years. KA, this is why we're talking about it. We're trying to bring some attention to it. It's a problem. That's the point. That's the whole point.
Yeah. And MJ, I talked about process, but I want to go to culture, right? We've heard a lot about culture with Cam coming on board,
100%.
and certainly glad about the result today. But
sure,
the players are customers, right? So you reference people, whether you're G4, G5, G6, no matter how much pack dollars you've spent, you've invested time in the game as well as money, as you've noted. And for the company to act the way it has, it fundamentally doesn't seem to have the mindset that the players are the customers, right? And should be treated as such, because the game has had its problems lacking that mentality, right? And it's a mentality that would have benefited them here.
Well, and I'm right there with you, man. This screams old guard to me. This screams this is how we used to do things to me. I don't know that any changes have been made to the process. Hell, I don't even know what the process is because it's not public, right? Like it's not something they discuss publicly. That part I understand, and there are certain things I have to respect about that. That being said, I do feel that there should have been some sort of communication to the players that were banned. Period. Like that's bare minimum. Okay? That's not all that should have been done, but that's minimum. Sorry. I got I'm a little feisty about it because and I want to bring Shockwave back up as well because he's my co-host and he's got something he wanted to add to this as well. So Shock, go ahead.
Firstly, guys, I'm sorry that happened to you. That it's awful and there's no excuse for it. The second thing I want to say is that we have seen instances recently where people have been getting banned for silly reasons. There a couple months ago, players were getting banned for using the GS31 beam
Yes.
twice in a minute, which you can absolutely do with no third-party software. That is a problem if the people at Scopely that are in charge of banning do not even know how their own product works. That's a problem. We have seen people get banned because people in higher positions of power, whether it be a CC or some sort of player that has a loud voice, or just some sort of player that has some pull, has gotten players banned just because. Here's the point. If you are a player playing this game and you have to ban or report somebody for banning because another player is better than you, you are not winning. You are in fact losing because of the way that you're conducting yourself.
1000%.
So for any of these guys up here that were banned because somebody thought you were better than them, congratulations, because you are.
Yep.
Because the person who thought that they could just orchestrate mass reporting, that's not winning. That can't make you feel good. Sure, you can brag about it, but at the end of the day, you know you're a loser. So it's one of those things that, when people do things like that, it says more about them than it does about you, gentlemen. And so for that, I'm sorry that you had to go through that. I'm sorry that an utter loser, an idiot, had to go through and report you simply for the fact that you played the game better than them. So
Well,
I apologize to you all on behalf of something that was completely screwed up in what we're told is a culture change environment.
so I want to go to Boxer for just a minute because Boxer's not had a chance to speak just yet, and I know he had a couple of things he wanted to add. Guys, everybody up here besides Shockwave is in my alliance. All these two accounts that were banned. OA, I know we talked about that we were worried that you were next on the target list. I know that I don't doubt that there is still reports going out there. I do want to get Boxer's voice on this though. So Boxer, floor is yours, man. Go ahead if you can unmute. There you go.
Well, like all I gotta say is, from the start of this, I hit the CMs pretty hard, and you get a lot of skepticism. I mean, and that's understood. How many people are going to claim, oh, that's not me, I'm not doing it? There's no guilty people in jail, that sort of thing. But it's a difficult thing for them to sort through because you do have to consider that there are petty grudges, that there are enemy alliances that are doing what they can to um, get people out of a game, which is really dumb because if you don't have any competition in this game is boring. It's nothing but a grind, and so you need that competition out there. The sad part of it is when you do better than somebody else, when you are able to repair your turrets, faster than they can attack your station. They immediately go to, well, since I can't win, you must be botting, or you must be cheating, or you must be doing something along those lines. So I am glad that at the end of the day that Sierra and the other group were willing to hear me out because I really was pestering Sierra pretty hard about this. I'm like, you don't understand, this is not the case, and they're like, well, we have evidence, and I'm like, I don't think you've really looked at it, and um, not if you didn't know Rec, I can see how easy it would be to think what he does is some sort of enhanced system, but the guy just plays so much, and he's a student of the game. He learns,
Yep.
you know, what each and every one of the officers does, what each one of the ships can do, where this works, where that works. So, um, you know, it's sad, but you get punished for being good at what you do. So
You
I'm
know,
glad they corrected or did a course correction, because it really was looking like they were just going to be like, you know what, let's just let the uh, punishment run out and we'll just sweep it under the rug. But that's not what would have happened. You know, there's a bunch of people on our server who would have just deleted their accounts and moved on.
so Simon in chat says, and I'm going to read this word for word, okay? So this is Simon's words, not mine. Another possibility is that they are botting and can't play the game without cheating. So if you beat them, you must be cheating as well, because there's no way you are better than them. That's kind of the whole thing, man. That's the whole point, right? We have so many different animals. Uh, uh,
Well,
oh wow,
you know,
Yeah.
another
oh
thing
wow,
too is if you really play this game, you can tell what a bot is,
sure,
because it's, you know, the bot would go to the center of the galaxy, and then it wouldn't target the closest one, and then you'd kill it, and it would return, and it wouldn't call you a jackass for killing it. You know,
well,
so those are the, you know, some of the telltales, and we screenshot and we did videos and we did all that over a year ago. And that was
uh,
another thing I had sent to Sierra. I'm like, hey, look, I got 4 or 5 instances here where we sent you guys video and we sent you guys logs where 17 times in a row this ship all got sent to this location. Go check. They ran out of trite here, and that's why they quit sending.
yep,
And you know, they didn't do anything about it. And I'm like, you cannot just all of a sudden decide you're going to enforce a rule, and you know, on someone's virtual asset, because that's what these are virtual assets. You cannot do
sure,
that, and especially not protect their stations.
no, but we okay. OA said this a minute ago, and I want to go back to it because this is important, and I'm going to put the image up on stream, right? The word culture, it's been thrown around so much, right? And there it is. I put it up there on purpose. We've heard it a lot, but this right here, this screams of, again, old guard, old culture, pre-Cameron's kind of stuff. I think, and I know for certain, okay, because I have other instances that I can pull from if I need to, but there's so many more accounts. It's not just us, guys. Okay, it's not just Wreck and Wrath. That just happened to us recently, and we didn't sit down and take it. We kind of fought and went to bat and pulled all our strings and did everything we could to get these accounts back. I personally also sent messages up to the top, you know, and they can attest to that. I I I know that there are other servers that this same thing is going on. Ruby said she had some in chat. I believe Simon said he had some in chat. Guys, if you've had instances where players got banned for a false reason, please say put a W in chat right now. Put something in chat right now. A yes, a W, a 1, anything. Put it in chat because I want it to show up on the screen. That's the point. That's the reason I'm asking for it. Players got banned on your server? Do it. You see? You see? It's not just us. It's not just us. We're at a point.
So MJ, I'm sorry.
You're fine. We're at a point changes need to be made or things need to be visible. One of the two. Sorry. Go ahead, OA.
Yeah, no, I want to continue on this thread, and Shockwave started it about the people who are spamming the complaints to try to use the system to get an advantage, right? So, um, you know, and Rick mentioned this when he started. They knew our first player had been banned before we had told our team, right? So somehow they got that information, and I'll set that aside for a moment, but that's a really important point. But while they were banned, before we got this reversed, right, they went out to another alliance and threatened them. They said, hey, you're not a big enough player in your alliance for us to target, but basically your bigs better watch out or they might get banned too. Right? So we know who the offending group is. We know who they are, right?
Yep.
And they're threatening other alliances. And even when one of our players returned today, they reached out to that player and said, I'm watching you and I'm ready to report you again after his
Yeah,
ban had been lifted.
I seen that, by the way, and I don't want to. I'm not going to put that on the screen, but I have that available if it's needed. So
yeah,
that's to whoever needs to hear it up. You know where. I have that thing if you need it. So this is a
Yeah,
and
and he
where
claims to be a
where I'm
former
going,
employee.
yeah, and where I'm going with this is there's people who know the system is broken and are abusing it, right? And are abusing the black box nature of the system. Those people need to be held into account for their behavior, right?
1000%.
Because they have caused harm, right? Which I believe is against terms of service, but they're also using it to sort of threaten and try to bully other alliances. And I think that's a real problem that should be addressed. And that would help dampen some of this behavior until Scopely can change the process.
So I am sending that up because I instantly got a DM. Thank you. Awesome.
Yeah, and I'm not
Thank you
naming
for
any names,
listening.
obviously.
No,
But
I'm not publicly. No, for obvious reasons. But the fact of the matter is this: it's not acceptable behavior. It's not acceptable that sort of thing's okay, and then the people who are the victims get punished for it. I will not stand for that, and I don't think any of us should at all. So this needs to be addressed. It needs to be addressed now. So this is a call to action, basically. I don't know how else to word it. This is what I'm asking for. Granted, I'm asking. I'm not. Let me be careful how I word this. I am asking for someone to address this issue as soon as they can. Because, hey, honestly, if this continues and it affects more players than it already has, you're going to end up losing players. And nobody wants that. So, just saying. Guys, do you guys want to add anything else before we carry on?
Just one more thing, MJ.
Go ahead,
in
Box.
my case, well, this is Rick.
Greg,
In my case, I'm pretty privileged to have access to a lot of you guys. In my time playing, I've became friends with a lot of people. So in my case, I had a ton of people trying to support me, and even with that support, with hundreds of messages, a week of nonstop, please, explanations, just asking for something, I barely got that done. Now imagine a player that doesn't have the same context as I do, trying to resolve the same situation that I was in. Like I've gotten to the point where I didn't think this was going to get solved.
Yeah, I'm judging on the conversation you and I were having. Yeah, I thought that this is where you were. I've got a couple of questions here. Let's go to Taco first, and then we'll go to Simon. Taco, go ahead.
One thing for sure, like Scopely needs to do better. They need to review this, and it should not just be one person review. They should have a team of people reviewing this. And another thing, when I saw in the Super Discord in 72, I got a few pings in there, and I read, and honestly, reading what Rex put in there, I was like, yeah, I know for damn fact he did not bot or anything.
No,
because people don't make their claims like that and say, and it's just, to me, I felt it was very genuine that he did not do it. So I make sure to send it up to the right people. I reached out to Nigel, one of them, and Lube, he was on it as well, and I make sure to send it up to Subby Games and Cameron, because I was told that I was told that people didn't want to discussed this with Cam, and I'm like, no, I'm bypassing all of them. I'm gonna send this to him. And there's a good conversation, and he told me he was looking into it. And then I went to sleep, and I saw everything was resolved. Now, for me, the bigger thing now is, if now that they're unbanned, they need to get back their RSS and a huge comp, because this seems like it was a false report, and they just didn't listen and did what they wanted to do to try to possibly have some cover of, oh yeah, this didn't happen. But every person infected with the ban needs to be comped hugely, and I'm gonna
Um,
try to work on getting that happen.
As you should, and thank you, Taco, for reaching out to who you did. I appreciate that. Corey in chat says they need to look into all the people that this employee has banned in particular. I doubt R2 was the only innocent. Fair point. Simon, floor is yours, buddy. Go for it. Maybe? You had your hand up. Oh, there he is. Go for it. Simon. Okay, so Simon's audio's not working. Give him just a minute while he sets that back up. Corey, did you want to add anything? Because I know you had said you wanted to touch on one or two more things. So
The only other thing that I really had was when it all come down to it at the end. No one disclosed this yet, but the reason why Rec, at least for a fact, and I'm assuming Raph as well, was flagged for possible botting was because they played too much. A game that forces you with all the events and all the crap there is to do all day to play for 8-9 hours a day is now slapping you on the wrist because you're playing too much. I would love to only play 4 hours a day.
that's an issue, man. Like at the end of the
But
day, just because I hit hostile limit every day, just because and rage, we were talking about this earlier, right? While Simon's resetting, rage, before we had the show, we were talking in a VC earlier, and he said, and I quote, I hit my hostile cap every day and still end up finding other things to do. Correct me if I'm wrong, Rage.
Yep. I mean, honestly, normally I just keep going.
Cruzito, we'll go to you, and then we'll go to Simon. I want to make sure Simon's audio is working.
Yeah, so I think there's a couple of things, and I'm actually kind of glad that some of the guys earlier brought this up, right? So I think one of the big things, and when you're talking culture, and we'll see how it continues, right? Because there's obviously an isolated incident right now, and so anybody can hit a home run once and see what goes from there, right? But I think the big thing is that, when you talk culture, the fact that it's our analytics said this, we're just going to go ahead and fire off the band without any discussion, right? Not even reaching out to the player, not any of that. It's almost just like what I tell my workers at right now. You can use AI, and that's great, but you have to also have the knowledge and understanding of what that AI is trying to tell you, because if you put garbage in, you're going to get garbage out. And to me, I think.
Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. I didn't. No, okay. No. I think one of the things, and again, just based on some conversations that have been going around, and I don't care who says it or who hears this, I'll be honest. To me, this is just lazy, right? It's not even just. Maybe it's malicious, but at the end of the day, it's lazy. I see this here. Oh man, I got to do some work. Maybe I got to do a lunch, whatever. Pull the trigger, ban. I'm going on to it. I got my stuff done. I'm out of here. And I hope that going forward, I've heard Cam say it. I'm hearing you guys talk about it, that it's a player first mentality. And that's what needs to happen, right? If a player is affected, then you need to go find out how that player got into that situation. And if they did something stupid, okay, fine. If they didn't do something stupid, then you need to make it right. And I think that's the biggest thing that I hope from a culture perspective, they've got to realize. I heard I heard Cam say this, and this is my last thing, and I'll jump off my soapbox. I heard Cam talk about we need to make sure that we as players understand that the employees or that the developers or the whoever it is at STFC are humans on the other side. I think that also goes both ways. That they need to understand that we as players on this side of it are humans. And I think, right, it's got to be that symbiosis between that we're the customers, but we're humans, and they need to look at it from that perspective as well.
Agreed. Simon, you were trying there, and then we'll go to Shockwave.
Well, looks like I'm lighting up again.
Yep, you're good.
See if you can hear me now.
We can
Okay,
hear you.
so I wanted to offer, and I'm going to try and be very careful about how I word this as well. Partly for your sake, MJ, because this is
Appreciate
your
that.
show, but
I
also
appreciate that.
because there are some potential, shall we say, legal ramifications, depending on whether or not any of this, and I'm not making any accusations, I'm just saying, here's what the information I have, and it looks sketchy as hell. So I'm gonna poke at three primary scenarios, although there's a lot more that's happened on our server, including with a number of people that are in the audience right now. But Shockwave had mentioned back in May there was an instance where people got banned for using the GS31 beam because they were in an SLB or an ALB, and they were using the beam, firing off every 50 seconds or so, which is the timer. And because they were the reason they were given for a ban was because they were using it more frequently than every 5 minutes. This is a Scopely employee that banned players because they were using a tool in the game the way it was designed to be used. They did get the ban reversed, but it did cost them hours of playtime. How in the hell does something like that happen? I mean, that is.
Can't answer that. I can't answer that.
That is a level of incompetence that would cost people jobs if it actually was life or death scenarios or most real jobs. Another instance, an alliance mate of mine received a ban. This was just a chat ban, mind you, so it didn't impact his gameplay, but it did impact his attitude towards the game, and he almost quit over this. He received a ban and a notification that he had been detected using third-party software. He investigated. The CM that he contacted came back and said, yeah, there's no flags on your account. There's nothing that's been done. I have no idea why you received this ban.
You see, that's scary. That's scary.
And that's where we get into the third part. I'm building up to this one. Is that somebody on our server made the claim that I personally had been sanctioned for bot usage. Okay. And and it's like, okay, so you know, much like Rec and Wrath and the rest of the crew over there, this game is about dedication. It's about time. I was all for using the Game Genie and the Game Shark, you know, back in the 80s and the 90s.
Sure.
Because Nintendo games were hard back then. They were, I don't know if you've ever played Battletoads, but damn, you needed some of that stuff sometimes.
Yeah.
But using bots or cheats on STFC robs yourself of the experience. So yeah, there's no way in hell I'd use it. Right. But this person claimed that I had been sanctioned for bot usage. Also claimed that I was capable of killing cloaked ships. So it's like, well, wait a second here, guys. How do you know I've been sanctioned if I've never been sanctioned for doing something I never did? Which would suggest to me, now granted, this is just what it appears to me, is that this person or someone close to them made reports and has had such great success making those reports, either because they have contacts or connections or influence, that they just assumed that the report went through and sanctions occurred.
So
Now,
before you go on there, there's something that's on both chats. I see it. The
Yeah.
community mod. Raise your hand, folks, if you use the community mod. Please. Just if you feel comfortable saying so. I do. I use it. It's the whole point. The whole point I'm saying this is because the community mod is now done by NetNiv, and NetNiv is an NDACC. It is an official thing. So you should not be afraid to raise your hand and say, yes, I use it. The community mod.
You know what's funny about it though, right? Even though it's
not the
sponsored,
go ahead.
yeah, even though it's sponsored, it's still technically against their TOS. So that's the part that these guys, and that's to what Simon was talking about, right? The fact that some of these folks don't understand even what their own rules and policies are or how their gameplay is, and yet you're going to impact your customers because of your lack of due diligence to ensure you have the right information before you take an action.
Well, and it goes even beyond that, Cruz. I had my hand up here because I wanted to say something, because you're hitting around it, Cruz. But what I wanted to say is something that I said a couple months ago on briefings about another issue entirely. It's just an endemic. It's just an endemic catastrophic failure on all ends when something like this happens. A couple months ago at work, usually you sit through a presentation at work, and you just get so much thrill, he said sarcastically, for being there, and you shut your eyes or whatnot. But in this particular meeting, I did get something of value, and I've said it a few times here, and I want to say it again. And like I said, Cruz was hitting around this, but didn't hit it right on the head. Knowledge is not understanding. So let me say that again. Just because you have knowledge of something doesn't mean you truly understand it. And, we saw that in the instance with the GS31 bans. Whether or not it was done intentionally or not, the person who executed the ban had knowledge of the product, but they didn't have the understanding of how it worked. And that's a problem. When you have layer after layer of people that are doing a job or have a career or executing a task that do not have the understanding for which the knowledge that they are given, that's how things like this happen. That's how breakdowns in communications happen. That's how day one of this past ArcFall happens. Plenty of people having the knowledge, but very few having the understanding. And I think that that's something that is truly endemic, and I think that's something that Cam wants to fix, especially with my conversations with him. And I know other people get the same thing, feel the same thing and feel the same way about those conversations. Just because somebody possesses the knowledge on how to work the game doesn't mean they truly have the understanding. And I think as we move forward with Scopely and with STFC, that's something that should be looked at, because like I said, they have so many failures that happen on feature launch. And it simply comes from people not having the understanding of the knowledge that they possess. And that needs to change. It definitely needs to change.
So, Simon, I want to come back to you because we kind of cut you off there. You weren't done, and I know that, and I'm sorry. But
that's okay.
I need to clarify, Rage, you were raising your hand for mod usage, right? Or did you have something you wanted to add as well?
For mod use.
Okay, go ahead, Simon.
Gotcha. Okay. So in regards to the question about the community mod, this guy in question that got the chat ban, it doesn't even use the community mod. because he is terrified of stuff like this. He knows about the flags that have happened over the years, even though it's now accepted, it's now okay, and it's kosher. He still refuses to use it because he doesn't want to lose his account. He enjoys the game, he enjoys the people, he enjoys the community, refuses to use it, and still got this, which is what's really confused all of us. But this other guy, this accusation against me, like I said, it was made, an accusation was made. As far as I know, I've been investigated multiple times. Nothing's ever happened because there's nothing to find.
Right.
So the question then is but there's other people that have gotten bans and will swear up and down they have done nothing wrong other than doing much like Rage Starved, where they just grind the shit out of every hostile because that's how you win SLBs and ALBs anymore. And there's so many of them, you've got to do that back to back to back. But this person in particular has also made claims over the years about having contacts and connections to make things like this happen.
Right.
So, tinfoil hat time.
Yep.
If even a tenth of these claims that have been made are true, then that means that this isn't just incompetence. And like I said, this is a big if, and this is where the potential legal issues come into play, is if there is somebody who is actually using their position within Scopely to screw over one set of players at another player's behest,
Yeah.
I mean, that's just fucked up.
Yeah.
But that undermines every bit of trust that any of us could ever hope to have within the company. And
I've been trying.
Yeah.
Wilson, I've been trying to. I've been snoozing them the entire time. It's only 90 seconds. I can't stop it anymore. So we did push them for an hour and 45 minutes. That was all I could do. So sorry about that, guys. If you're sitting through an ad, I do apologize. This is the part where streamer normally says, sub to the channel, Twitch Turbo, all the things. 50 seconds left on the clock for the ads. Again, I apologize. Let's hold up right there for a second so people can come back, because we have a lot of folks who are not subbed to the channel, and I very much would like them to not miss things. So
is it starting in 50 or ending in 50?
Ending in 30. Ending in 30. So just no, I've got. Oh yeah, I'm sorry. You're right. It starts in 20 seconds. So guys, we will hold off there for just a second, and we will.
You need a breaking news banner for the bottom of your screen.
Yeah, maybe. Rage gifting out 5 subs there. Thank you, Rage. Appreciate that. Never required, but always appreciated, my friend. Thank you. I will say this though: if we do end up, I got to do the streamer thing here. So if we do end up doing the hype train, as always, complete the level 5, blah blah blah, we'll do a giveaway for some merch. So that's just how that sort of stuff works. And it's a 60-second ad. It's not a big deal. Just that Chad guy got one. Yeah, he did. He did rage. He did. Chad's good people. No, look. At the end of the day, all we can do is bring attention to it, ask questions, and try to talk about it. Because without the community at large, Wreck and Wrath would still be banned. I guarantee it. Without many people reaching out to Beck, Sierra, Cameron, whoever, they would still be banned. So,
yeah, that's the problem I have.
Agreed. The ads are over, so should be good to go there. Sorry about that. I'm Fonzie. Welcome in. Good to see you, buddy. Yeah. Go ahead, Viller.
I was just gonna say that's the problem I have is how many times has this went and the people were innocent? We don't know. I have no clue. I mean, it was 2 in our alliance in 1 week, and they just so happen to be well-connected players. These are VIP players. They have VIP people, CMs that wasn't listening to them. What does the average regular free-to-play player have in their bag? Nobody.
Well, I would like to think that the door is open for people to reach out to myself, but I can't speak for all the CMs and all the VIP people. I can't speak to that. I can only speak to if people want to reach out to me personally. I'm happy to pass along feedback messages, whatever. But at the end of the day, yeah, right, Shiz. Shiz says it great because having, quote, tiers of players, unquote, is a good, healthy thing. Yeah, yeah. Don't get me wrong. I understand that VIP is a, and I've heard this term used a lot, white glove service. Okay. But at the end of the day, how do we solve it?
Pat, that's exactly what I mean, though. How much trouble, how many VIPs complained to how many VIP CSMs that still did nothing about this?
I don't know if they even had the capability, to be honest with you.
Yeah. To me, that's
They have the
like,
capability to take it higher.
Sure. Sure. But now I personally
but
did that.
so to answer that, Corey, my thought is, what if certain CMs were told, don't take it higher? We already have enough evidence.
That's a
So
problem.
while I wanna give them a little benefit of the doubt, we don't know what has been said behind the scenes, between them. It's just a little bit disappointing that they couldn't have done more. But I'm hoping, they change things behind the scenes, especially with the head honcho at the moment, making sure things get changed about reporting.
Yeah, I
They
think
need SOP changes for sure.
I agree.
Yeah,
I think
and
that's
MJ,
Go ahead. Go ahead, Cruz.
well, one thing I want to do, right? So obviously you work in a position where you have interaction with customers, right? And I would imagine that anybody that works around you or for you or above you, where a customer comes in, it's like, hey, I need to be able to escalate this above you because I'm not getting what I need out of you, right? And whether
Yeah.
they're in the wrong or not, right?
You have no
I
idea
think,
how many
and again,
times Karen shows up. Yes.
right. But at the same time, I want to make sure that I'm saying this generally speaking and not trying to put anybody that it was their words. But I do think there is a bigger concern that I have in the sense that, and I posted this in your chat, the fact of you don't want to escalate it because you might not like the answer.
Right.
And I think at the end of the day, to me, that is an old, or that's a bad culture in the sense of, okay, I get that you might not want to have to do something, but that also is very problematic because that tells me then you don't want me to or escalate it because you may find out that you might be doing something you're not supposed to be doing, and you don't want those above you to find that out, right?
Right.
I always find that interesting of like, well, there's nobody above me. Oh, I'm pretty sure there is, right? And again, I get it that the Karens roll out there, but if that's your first go-to immediately, that just tells me that you don't really enjoy what you're doing and that you don't have, again, back to use and quote Cam's own words, you don't have the players in mind or your customers in mind when you're trying to do it.
Right.
And it's one thing if you're a repeat offender or if you're a repeat thing, like, oh, okay, so and so again, right? We got it. But I don't think any of these folks have ever had any negative interactions like that. And so for the first thing to immediately say is, well, we're just going to go ahead and cut you off at the knees. And by the way, there's no recourse for you. There's always a recourse.
Yeah. Normally there's some way to do it. Listen, for those of you that don't know, I'm going to be very clear here. I work in the food service industry. Most of you probably know that I'm an employee at Taco Bell. I I deal with people who want to speak to my manager every single day, multiple times a day. So you're right, Cruz. You're speaking volumes here when you're screaming, this is an issue. But how high can customer service really go? This is a customer service problem because this is a product. This is something that gets sold. So therefore it does fall under consumer rights. There it is. I said the thing. And maybe I'm gonna I'll probably get my hand slapped for it, but you know what? It's the truth. It's the truth. I really feel like they've missed the mark here, and that some changes
Well,
in some form need to happen.
and you know
Can't be
what's
any
funny
more
about
clear.
that, MJ?
What?
The fact of it is, right? The fact of it is that it got to a person that was able to make it happen, which means everything that was said up until that point was nil. No, didn't mean anything, right? And I know I'm gonna bring something up that's probably gonna get the community fired up. So Taco, get ready for slow mode. This goes back to no, I'm just kidding. This goes back to the Keelix, the Neelix, the whole thing, right? That for so long, any changes, look at the list that came out today. Oh, we can't get to those. Those are too hard. Oh, we can't get to those. This is to there. And yet, here it is. Quick, easy wins for the customer. So these kind of things, and it sucks that these folks had to go through it, but this is telling me right here that at least we have some people in place that are going, no, 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 that's not going to happen anymore. And we're going to stop it and we're going to change it today. Because everything up until this point of, well, you don't want to raise it. Why not? What do you mean I can't go higher?
Correct.
We did, and it got fixed.
100%. Instantly. So, guys, I really appreciate each and every one of you coming on tonight to discuss this because this is a serious topic. Oh, whoa. Quit. You're pushing my buttons. Quit, son. Quit. No. Sorry. Stop. Sorry, my toddler's all over my keyboard. Here, take that and go. Well, then go on. I don't know what else to do here. I'm asking for someone to address this in some way. We're not asking rude. We're not being hateful. We're not being cross. There was 2 people here who got slighted. Probably many more than that. I don't think that it's outside the realm of possibility that somebody fucked up. Happens every day. We're human, okay? Not even the part we're upset about. The problem is, how do we prevent this from happening to anybody else? Because let's be honest. Politics on our server caused this. Hands down. Hands down.
I wouldn't say politics. I think what caused this is Scopely has a bad process that can be abused, and it was abused. But it really does start with Scopely's process. Then it goes to Scopely's really true, I won't say ability to investigate, but commitment to investigate, right? And then you do get to the people abusing this, and that is a problem too that should be addressed. But they are, in my opinion, somewhat a symptom of a system that can and has been exploited and has been pointed out, not just for our 2 people, and it was bad, but by how many other examples here, right? Like,
I mean, there's
so
multiple.
yeah, but that's my opinion, right? Scopely is enabling the behavior, whether they intended to or not. They're enabling it, and that's where it has to start. And again, in my opinion,
And man, you're right. Oh, hey, you're on point. Simon, you've got your hand up. What you got, buddy? What do you want to add here?
Well, I was going to say that, as far as how to get this addressed to prevent it from the future, if Cameron is serious about putting players first, I've said for months that customer service needs to be the single most highest priority because it is easier to fix customer service than it is to fix computer code. Start believing all of the players. That means that the ones that make the accusations and the ones that deny said accusations. So you have to follow up with an investigation on that. And there is no investigation. It's just one person's word. And then, and like I said, potentially some people claim to have connections beyond those of mortal men and can make things happen just because they will it. The whole situation needs to be gone through with a fine-tooth comb. And if there's somebody that's corrupt, they need to be gone. No ifs, ands, or buts. Just immediately fired, terminated, gone.
Morph.
Yeah.
DM me, Morph. Send me that screenshot. Please and thank you, Morpheus. Sorry.
No, that's okay. That's we got lots of people that probably want to talk about this. So yeah, that's this whole situation, the whole scenario. Like OA said, it needs to be reviewed. It needs to be revamped. Others have said that there needs to be more than one person on here. They also need to have people that are knowledgeable about the damn game, because you cannot have people handing out a ban for using a tool within the scope of the tool's time limit and then saying, oh no, you've used this tool properly, and so we're going to ban you for it. Can't happen. It's not just the state of the game itself that has caused player faith and satisfaction to be at an all-time low. It's the way the players are treated by Scopely employees. And so if their response is don't go up, you won't like the answer, that, as was pointed out, that sounds like a threat that we'll investigate you next.
So,
that can't happen.
Wrath just popped in the chat with his first time chat. Thank you, Wrath. Hit that follow button for me, bud. And that's my streamer brain coming out. I pinned what he said to the top of the chat, guys, and I did that on purpose. I was personally told by someone at the highest levels that they are reviewing the system directly to ensure that doesn't happen again. Hell yes.
And also too, this to go, because there's been a lot of stuff that slung up here, but to be fair, this could be just a breakdown of process, right? Person A working the board sees report come in. They lack the knowledge and the understanding, and they just hit the ban button for the person, right? Yep. Like that could be a thing, right? So, in which case it's still a severe breakdown of communication, but at least that's an easy fix. The thing that I'm concerned about is, I think the same thing that everyone else is concerned about is, what if that's not the case? What if the case goes beyond that? What if the case is more what I was saying earlier, knowledge v. understanding? What if it goes deeper than that? What if it's more endemic than that? And that's the thing that you start kind of peeking behind the curtain a little bit, and you're like, okay, is there something more to this? And truth be told, I hope it's option A. I hope it's that somebody is sitting the board, they're an untrained individual or a junior developer, and they just see report come in, and they just ban the person just because they don't know any better. That, like I said, that's at least an easy fix. And that's kind of what I hope. But I fear that that's not the case. I fear that it's a little bit more endemic, and that it's a little bit more, it's a little bit more of the old guard having knowledge but lacking understanding.
Corey, I'll give you a mod back. Don't worry about it. Honestly, I was reviewing stuff, and because I give all my alliance mates VIP, here, I'll fix that for you right now, Corey. So, there you go. Easy fix. Let's see. This is what I hope it is a training issue, says Wilson. Fair. Yeah, I was removing people, Corey. It wasn't nothing. I left you with a VIP on purpose. Nerves are still agreeing. Let's see. Could be a training issue. Glad to see the person got up with you directly. Good. Yeah, Wrath, that's another thing, man. If at all possible and you could come speak to it, I absolutely would love to have you on. C has raised his hand, so I'm gonna bring him up for a minute and let him, because I see you're also in our alliance. I know this has affected you as well. So let's what do you got, buddy?
Definitely. So, if we're gonna have this process of we need to ban people and due diligence, why not have it set up where it's your initial 24-hour investigation, which is it comes up, you get 24-hour shield from the moment it starts until the end, and it goes like we're reviewing reasons why you may be banned.
You know my
you're
hats
24-hour
want your
timeout.
ads.
It's just as simple.
Message at MJ
that
Hat in
24-hour
every
period,
Discord for me.
You are not to be touched.
Right.
There's a shield up, and no one can do anything to you.
Right.
And there you go. You got to do a 24-hour period to see, is this something real, or is this a bunch of people just being busy assholes? And well, there's just a bunch of people being assholes. We're gonna look at them and go, yeah, you got a 5-day ban. Yeah, you got a 5-day ban. Yeah, and you got a 5-day ban because you guys are a bunch of assholes. Constantly reporting the same person.
Right.
For playing the game.
So
Wilson, that could be one way they can move forward. What is your thoughts on that?
So, I think what Simon says in chat is absolutely true. That would just if we encourage the report system, then that would just lock players out. Wilson, you're invited to the stage. This is an open forum. I want to make that clear. Anybody that wants to come up and tell a story about an account being banned or speak to Scopely directly, this is your means to do it, right? This is what I particularly provide here. I want to be the conduit for you. That is the whole point. So I don't think that just because I here, hold on, I've got a DM. Thank you for that. Appreciate you. I actually already had that screenshot and have already sent that one up. Just so you know. What if part of the issue with bans is there are no consequences for false reporting? There's the main issue, Shiz. There it is on a silver platter. So, how constructively, okay, and bear with me here. Constructively, how do we prove that? How do we, because each report goes up, and I'm assuming it's got a player ID attached to it. I'm not even going to say a name. I'm going to say a player ID. Okay? Said player ID can be turned into a name, whatever. As these reports go up and intern A is going through and he's reading all these reports, he sees 50s for rat. Okay? I'm just arbitrary number. So because there's 50 reports, that's got to be true, right? What's the judiciary process here? I think some transparency is needed. I think that somebody needs to ask some questions. And while I'm not trying to be the one that messages certain people directly, I am trying to give that invitation out there for someone to explain it to the player base at whole. I don't think I'm trying to target any one particular person. I want to be clear. It's more important that we get our answer than it is to know who fucked up in this particular instance. It's more important to solve the problem than to cause more problems. So, if you're listening, and I indeed know you are because of what I've already received, something needs to be done. And I'm only saying that as your conduit, your avenue of communication. Happy to explain it myself if it gets explained to me. Best I can do. We have good people that don't deserve punishment for things they didn't do. End of story. Taco, go ahead.
So I was going to add, like, even if they don't tell us who did what, we should at least know a little bit more of why the person got banned and how we could plead our case.
I think it's more along the lines, maybe we don't need the specifics that far, Taco. What I want is to know the process. I get that reports flagged Wrath and Wreck. Wrath and Wreck's accounts were looked at by someone who may not know any better. But then I know they were looked at by someone that does. What was the problem? That's the question I have. Granted, privacy laws, I understand you can't tell me. Why are we not communicating to them? That's all I want. That's all I want. We need change here, or this will be problematic going forward. Sorry, I'm quite passionate about it. I've been working on this in the background for 3 days, since Monday when I woke up. Rhett can tell you, I did get upset. I did get a little red. I'm passionate about people that support me. Okay? Always have been. The players have my back. The company does too. So let me be that avenue. Let me speak to this. And I'm happy to be the middleman and be the middle ground and explain it to people if we can't do that ourselves. That's all I got. Is there some kind of
Might want to do you might want to do a little recap real quick for the people that's come in since.
You're absolutely right. So, Ram Scoop, I see you've just come up. We had a couple of alliance mates of mine that got falsely reported and falsely banned. Those bans were lifted as of this morning. One of those happened as early as Friday, the other on Monday morning. I personally took some messages up, some screenshots. I'm not going to say where I sent them, but I sent them. And I did my best to advocate for these two players, because that's my role in this community, to advocate not only for the company but for the player base too. I was able to get nowhere, and it took a great part of the community rising up. Yes, they were. Due to mass reports. I know you guys can see my toddler jumping there. He's being a little turd. Sorry. They were wrongfully banned, yes. I'm asking, quit screaming. I'm asking for some details as to the banning process. I'm asking the whys and the what fors and I don't even care about the who did it. That means nothing. Who did it? Don't care about that. Why? I want to know why. What can we do to prevent this from happening in future to people like you? What did you hit your hostile cap 5 days in a row? Be careful. Tread lightly here. That's all I got. I don't know how else to do it. C, you got your hand up.
All right. Thinking a little bit more. What needs to happen is before a player gets banned, there got to be an email sent out to the player. This is Scopely. We're seeing this. You're going for major scrutiny, And if you see your account that you cannot access anymore, it's because we found evidence against you.
Communication.
Once you get the evidence, you will be within 4 hours of said evidence and all proof given out, an opportunity to say, hey, what's this happened to me? What can I do to fix this? And how to we move forward.
Right.
Because this way now you got players who are like, okay, I can't be doing this anymore. And the next time
people will
that
quit
they
over
do
it.
this process and they go, oh crap, it's just the same thing. Guess what? Nope, you're done. 5-day ban. Boom. But they need to give that due process the first time. And if it's happening with the same player, going back to doing the same thing that they were doing before, and we're telling them not to do it again, that's it.
So,
and it should be the same thing with mass reporting. If you're doing a mass reporting of someone, there should be a huge scrutiny. It's like, why are you mass reporting? Look at who they're reporting on and who's doing reporting to that person. And if that person is just reporting because they don't like it, the person who does mass reporting, yeah, guess what? No, you're not. You're in 40-hour timeout.
All right, so that's what I'm saying here. See, what I would like is for a couple of people to put something together. Okay, some way to maybe contextualize and make this a little bit more professional, because I realize I'm getting inside my emotions here a little bit. Okay, because I took it personal. I did.
Thanks, Retro.
I mean, I'd be lying. I want. I see a couple of people trying to come up to the stage, so I'm going to rotate a few people out here. Let's go ahead and get RSDJ and Peachy up on the stage, and I'm going to I pulled C down. So RS, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm agreeing with everything everybody's saying, but I did put it in the stream chat. What kind of compensation could Scopely even offer you if they've ballsed this up and your account's been banned?
For as many days as you've been banned, battle pass points, minimum. Everything you lost out of your vaults, minimum. Events that you've missed for the past 5 days while you were banned, minimum.
Yeah, I agree.
Peachy.
Plus an extra battle pass for the next month.
That might be pushing it. Peachy, go ahead. Peachy. Not getting any audio from you, Peachy. Not sure what's going on there. I do kind of need to move the show forward, bad as I hate to, but I feel like we've gotten our point across. I feel like this was the meat and potatoes. I am not going to drop this. Don't know how to say it. So, the next thing we had on the card was maintenance being delayed till tonight. That is a good change because it does show they're still willing to pull stuff. They're still willing to stop. Yes. One last thing before we conclude. Go for it. Go for it. Absolutely. Absolutely. I-Team Rep here. Read that if you can, because that is huge. And man, dude, Rec, that's all we can do. That's all we can do, man. Like, look, it wasn't one person. I'm not going to sit here and pretend it was me who did it. It wasn't. It wasn't. I was one voice among many. Some voices hold more weight than others. And I hate that that's how it is, but it is how it is. So I'm right here with you. That's it's huge to me. And we need more. We need answers. So while we're migrating back to our regular panel there, I want to thank Super and everybody for coming on for that, because that segment is very powerful, very important. Yeah, Taco's got that right in chat. He said there's so many people working on this. We are on team community. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And again, Rec, I'd do it again. Yes, it was, OA. 1,000%. OA says the support from so many so fast was special for our affected players and our team. And I'm going to add to that, thank you to everyone that did reach out on our players' behalf. Let's talk about the announcement, because maintenance, when we wrote that last night about today's stream guideline and what we were going to do, the announcement that wasn't out yet that maintenance was going to be for tonight for 94.1. So, and again, I apologize. I'm still a little flustered. I'm sure my ears are red because I got seriously into it there for a minute. But I thank you all for your help. I cannot stress that enough. You guys not only take care of me, but you take care of a lot of our team. So, Chuck, you want to talk about that for a second?
About the maintenance delay?
Please.
Yeah, I think that it's a good thing. Anytime that somebody anywhere thinks that a product isn't worth pushing, that's where we need to be heading. I mean, we saw that with the Reaver. We've seen that with a couple of events. They flat out did the right thing on the first iteration of Treylene's challenge, where they identified an issue, they pushed that one out, but immediately they lowered the milestones that all you needed was 2 tokens to complete it, and they made quick changes. Before we would have gotten, well, it's going to have to stay for this run, but we'll work on iterations of the next run. So that's also progress, even though they pushed that out there. The fact that they didn't wait to change it to the next run speaks volumes on that as well. So we're starting to see things there. I mean, guys, they pushed a product.
Yes, they did.
They stopped the sale of a product twice now because of this player first mentality. So it's one of those things where a couple weeks ago, I was on the team that we weren't seeing much of the culture change. Yeah, we saw what had happened at the Reaver at that point, but we've had a long journey since then. And some of the things I've seen in the last 2 weeks have started reflecting that. I mentioned earlier, one of the things that I had spoken to Cam about was that Paragon recruit token, he's more open to feedback. For those of you all that didn't hear Voice of the Players briefings earlier, one of the bits of feedback that Cam was open to hearing was my take on the Paragon recruit, which is essentially, that pack felt terrible to buy. And he is very much on the team of nobody should purchase something and feel bad afterwards. And that Paragon pack, when it was in the store, you'll notice it's not there now. It was just 160,000. And we're not talking about Cadre. Somebody earlier thought I was talking about Cadre. No, it's Paragon in specific. You got 160,000 pull tickets, which is essentially 40 tickets or 40 max pull, 4 10 pull max pulls. And that just feels terrible. You're not even halfway to the token, to the pity token there. So I gave the feedback that they need to add resources, mats, and latinum to that pack.
And
they need to work on they need to work on pulling officers out as they complete them, because we can't be selling transporter patterns at the G6 and G7 level. We shouldn't be selling transporter patterns anyways, but especially G6, G7. G3, G4, and G5 transporter patterns have a use, absolutely. But G6, mid G6 of G7, where these new officers are tailored to, we've got no business even getting a single transporter pattern. And that was where I'd come across was.
Hold on, Chuck.
Yeah.
Captain Picard says, what? Well, yeah, $20 is $20. You're right about that, Picard. No, absolutely. Absolutely. KO that. I'm not going to KO that, Wally. I'm not going to KO that. No, he's right. We said the word culture, so that's absolutely valid. The culture has been changing. Okay, it has, but there are some instances where it hasn't, and other places where it has. I think this Paragon recruit stuff absolutely is one of the places where it is. So, thank you for popping in, buddy. Appreciate you. Sorry, I had to get the baby. Somebody's waking up and being fussy. She took a little nap there, didn't you? So, no, you're right, Chuck. You're right. There is, she needs some milk. She probably needs a butt change in all reality. I'm assuming here that she pooped and went to sleep because I can smell it. So, I'm probably going to have to get off screen for a minute. So,
are you sure that wasn't you, MJ?
Oh, I'm sure.
But yeah, no. that was the thing that I'd said was that we need to be pulling that way, because once you take those officers out that a player is already maxed, it increases the value of the pack naturally. And then the last thing I'd said to him was we really need to increase that to 200,000 tokens for the pull, so that every 2 packs you're guaranteed the pity token. And he was very open to that bit of feedback, and that was the new bit of feedback that we were pushed. And then, of course, the next day, now the Paragon tokens aren't in there. I'm hoping that feedback was listened to. It was very clear earlier. I've got no promises made that anything had happened, and I don't want to put that out there. But the fact that I could even approach him with that feedback means a lot, because that wouldn't have happened under the old regime. Right? It just wouldn't have, and we all know it wouldn't have.
No, it wouldn't have. As a matter of fact, and you know what, Taco, you can put the culture jar back up, because I'm going to say it again. That is a change in culture, hands down. It is, because never before have players been able to speak to the highest leadership at Scopely. So that's a win. So I don't know. I'm still changing a butt here. So.
But yeah, while MJ's changing the butt, I'll be the co-host here. I think it's one of those things where we're starting to see the results slowly. I remember when we were first talking about the new SVP, that there was a new man in charge. And people want it changed day one. And that was always not going to happen. Because A, that's not how corporate America works. And B, I'd much rather have someone be educated in the product in which they are trying to improve than just go at it on a whim. And believe it or not, in Taco and Cruz and MJ, the hyper engaged here, the people in the audience, like Retro, she can say this as well. Simon can say this. We all saw players say, well, day one, this guy should have been making changes. That's not how it works. And if you think that that's how it works, I encourage you to get a corporate job somewhere so that you can absolutely see that that's not how it works. What
Wait,
King did.
are you
Oh,
saying I
go ahead.
said? Are you saying that I said I
No,
changed
no,
something
no. What I'm
on
saying is
day
we
one?
all saw somebody say that.
No,
We
no,
all
that's
Okay.
saw
what he said.
somebody say day one there was a change that he should have been made changes. We all saw that, there were players out there that said that. I'm not saying you said that because you didn't say that.
Okay.
What
Okay.
I'm saying is we all saw players that did say it. Everybody up here on the stage, I know for a fact saw a certain player say it,
Hands down.
and I know that a few people in the audience said it as well. But that's not how it works. I believe that there was an Arby's commercials about that. That's not how it works. That's not how any of this works. So, the fact that now he's taken the time to immerse himself in the product, the fact that he's taken the time to get to know the player base, to get to know all the CMs, it is one of those things that, I appreciate the path that we've gone down. And now we're getting down to the exciting part where the changes are happening, where the feedback is being listened to, where products are being halted because they're not ready, where updates are being halted that's not ready. Hell, you give me staffing on the weekend, I'm going to be happy for the next 3 or 4 months, to be honest with you. But yeah, it's happening. We're seeing it, and that's a good thing.
So, sorry, I'm also responding to DMs in the background, so I apologize. No, Shock, you're absolutely right. People did say that. We all knew better. But I guess let's go back to the main topic here, what we were talking about, which was the maintenance and the pushback. This would be Simon said this in chat, and I want to highlight it. Alliance tournaments and the Reaver were both pushed back due to not being ready, and they did still come out with issues. You're not wrong. However, the third item that got pushed back, because there was 3, was planetary bases. Right now, we were supposed to be in planetary bases. 2 weeks in. We're not. Why? You know why. It wasn't ready. So, honestly, it's a good thing. It's a good thing it got pushed back. I got to play test it earlier this week, and it looks interesting. There are some good things there because those bugs aren't ready till next month. Why didn't they just fix alliance bases? Well, star bases are a whole nother thing, right? They're not gonna take an old mechanic that has already been fleshed out and completed and add to it. I mean, I say that, but they just did territory. So, but at the end of the day, a new mechanic here. This isn't for alliances either. This is for individual players. It's not a. Okay, how do I put this without spoiling? It is intended for you to progress in this particular part of the game over time to get things that will help your account down the road. So, absolutely, Retro. Absolutely. Absolutely. So, I think honestly, the whole talk about banning has got me all kinds of flustered, and we had some more here. We probably do need to talk about MAK'ALA's Crucible just a little bit, just a smidge before we wrap things up, because I don't know how long little Missy's going to let me stay on camera. So, MAK'ALA's Crucible is back, and I'm going to put it on the screen. It's back with an update. Guys, Shockwave, I'll go to you first, then we'll go to Taco. What's something in here that they changed that you're happy about?
I'm genuinely happy that they pulled the officers out, but also like they have a dedicated issue. But Taco and I were talking earlier today. I don't like how they approached it overall, but I do like the fact that we're on the right track with them making the officers separate. We're on the right track there. It still needs a little bit of work, but yeah, I think that was a step in the right direction.
What are the odds? Even 10% chance of receiving 5 instead of 1, and equal odds across the board to any one of these officers. Okay. That's what I needed. I'm willing to give them more grace because of the delay last month. It may still have been a relatively last-minute decision, but it wasn't done right before the maintenance. That being said, it still needs to work and not be horrifically flawed. Yes, Simon, I agree. Taco, what's something in here you like about this change?
Well, for G7 players specifically, they added, instead of just doing open models, they added we could do group of models now. So that is one good change that G7 players have. Because trying to find players or teams to be able to do a bunch of open models, that was a bit challenging for many players. I know in my lines in 51, not many of my G7 players in there were able to do open models. So I am glad to see that has changed. I'm not too happy with the rewards. I don't think they should have taken it off. I think they should have continued with having players in the station. Maybe rotate the officers from those that they had before.
Okay. Yeah, not only did Schwag with his moderator for 6-month anniversary, welcome in Schwag. I do see that they also cut them in half. Like, not only is it not 10 open armadas, you can just do 5 and be done with it. So that's pretty cool. That's actually what I was going to say as well, but since you stole that, I'll pick something else.
I'm sorry.
Cruz, or better yet, Retro. Let's go to Retro first, then Cruz.
Hi, everyone. Happy time zone.
Happy
So,
time zone, dear.
one of the things that I liked seeing is that there was a little bit of synergy between the Maverick tasks and the MAK'ALA, because when MAK'ALA first came out, we didn't have Maverick. And the first MAK'ALA after Maverick was like so much grind because there was no synergy between any of the tasks. And at least there's some of it with aggregation and FKR. I did not completely study all of the events and everything, so I don't know if there's much more of it. But just the fact that there's some makes me feel a little bit better. I didn't go out of my way to finish the last one because I don't do waves, and I don't waste Latinum either. So I'll probably run into the same struggle with this one.
Probably.
Yeah. But you do what you can.
Yeah,
So thank you.
100%. Cruz, what about you, man? What's something you are excited for about this MAK'ALA's Crucible, or something you didn't like that qualifies too?
Oh, for MAK'ALA's? Let's see. I don't know. I think so. For me personally, I didn't struggle the last time, right? But I do like the OA piece of it, right? I think there were some solid things in there that makes it a little bit easier, especially for the upper ranges where you're kind of limited on the stuff that you can do. I do think that the synergy piece of it, but if we can do group ones outside of that's great, because now we can go and work with our alliance to kind of get them their stuff too, right? If we have the start. So I think that's a nice thing, right? I think it's a win for both the upper levels and the lower levels of the alliance. I think it's still a little bit pricey on that lat one at the end. So they've got some work to do there. I know probably why they're doing it, but in general, I'm a big fan of the MAK'ALA, right? I think that it's great for them to run these. They might be running them a little too much. Don't get me wrong, because there's always that event burnout. but I think the idea of doing these at a good close or a good end of arc, and now we know that seasons are coming soon, or however that plays out. I think these are good in between events that can allow us to catch up over the last period of time for doing some things that we maybe might have forgotten or forgone because of other things that were going on.
So, a couple of things from chat. Shiz says, I'm not looking forward to the epic solo wave defenses. Those just get old so fast. Bacon says, I believe that if I did the first level on the Latinum, 14, the MAK'ALA's Crucible, I would be out of Latinum. Fair. I would too, as I am Latinum poor. So, yeah, that's all chat's got there. Listen, at the end of the day, it's another set of events. It's another set of progression. It's another set of rewards. Anything that is paying us more, right? More and more and more and more. Anything that is paying us more, let's do that. Let's keep it coming. I don't really have very much else to add. Shock, I know you had a shocking question that you wanted to ask our viewers. So if you want to do that before we wrap up, now would be the time.
Yeah, while we're wrapping up, I generally try to ask a question that's going to get the brain juices flowing, and this show is no exception. So it's this, and I want to see your answers in chat. With all the ship abilities in the game, whether it be cloaking, summoning, instant warp, isolatic damage increase, seek and destroy, Borg cube beam, whatever. Take your pick. What is the one ship ability you would like to see all ships possess?
All ships.
All, yeah.
Like everything. Miners to vengeances.
Right. What would you like? What ability would you like to see across the board?
RSDJ is the first one in with Dauntless. I'm assuming he means the Seek and Destroy. I've seen Warp. I see GS31 Beam. Instant Kill. Shockwave ships anytime I want in any server. I don't think they have that ability, Taco, but we can advocate for that. What else we got, guys? Come on, I know there's more.
The GS31 beam. There's that.
Yep, that's a good one. I'm with RSDJ. I think Seek and Destroy with an expansion on, starts, because let's face it, you don't get enough. 12 maxed out is not enough. 16 if you have the skin. It's not enough at all. So I don't know. I'm kind of stuck in the middle on that one. Either that or I want every ship to have a cloak. Money talks, MJ. If Griffin Taco, I almost read that on the air. Behave yourself. Let's face it, the Kirshar will never be fixed. It works okay for me now. I can remember the days when it didn't work at all. So
MJ, can I ask a question on that? Only just because it came up, and I'm a little bit on the opposite side of the Seek and Destroy.
Sure.
But I'm more of a like I get the 100% where I want to be able to fire and forget and go do some other things, right? Like that is a no kidding time saver. I'm not a big fan of that just because I think if you're going to be in game, you should be in game kind of scenario. But
fair.
I guess the curiosity, right? I guess is it just a time issue that you think that why you would want that, or even with the chat, right? And by the way, my go-to would be some relevant the minor defense stuff, right? They did them earlier in the earlier minors. I would love to see those up in the G7 world, and I'd like them to actually be, I don't know, something useful, right? I think they were the automated defenses or something like that. Those would be cool for the miners, or even just cloaks for everything, including the miners.
Cloaks for miners would be interesting, I think. Would hate to be banned for autoplay with Seek and Destroy. Fair, Corey. Fair statement. Fair
Too soon? Too
statement.
soon?
Yeah, maybe. Shiz says, how about either ships get a seek and destroy, or the Dauntless gets a holographic ability and gets the loop abilities of every ship, giving them those abilities when taking over the loop. Like, you can impersonate your vengeance with the Dauntless, perhaps. Gain its power. That makes some more sense. Holographic generator. I understand what you're trying to say there, Shiz. I think that one's a little too powerful, but I don't know. Maybe there's a way. Maybe there's a way. Something like the Borg Cube Beam, but it operates on how much you have mined for the miners for activation. Ooh. Ouch! God, I just got bit. NX ability for the aquatics, etc. Yeah. Yeah. Ouch. I would not like the abilities to spread out thoroughly through the ships that have a special ability to set them apart from each other, and the ships to have this ability. Oh, ow, ow, ow. I just want to assimilate where I can take MJ's vengeance. Corey, you can't take my vengeance, brother. That's not cool. Don't take my vengeance. I worked hard to get that. I worked real hard to get that. Yeah, the baby's biting my finger with her 2 front teeth, with the only 2 teeth she has. She's
And
got my
the one
finger.
thing I haven't heard anybody bring up today, and I'm hearing it a lot of places, and only just because I thought I saw him earlier. I am still, and I think we need to be pushing for a crab hailing frequency, or
Oh,
maybe
yeah,
even a
and
zombie frequency, hailing frequency.
how about
And
just to
the
live
good
long
thing
and
though with the crab,
prosper? How about I live long and prosper? I don't think we have one, do we?
yep.
I mean, and
I'll check. Hold
we
on.
I
don't
don't
have one
know.
of those yet.
Oh
We
yeah, we
don't.
do.
I don't
Well,
think so. We do.
we have the hand, but we don't actually have the acronym, if you will, right? But we do have the
Okay, but
hand one in place.
how do you unlock it? There's the real
Well, that's a
question.
good point. That's a
Oh,
good one. Yeah, we need to be able to enforce
that
those.
came out during the event. It was an alliance event.
How about
Yeah.
sourcing? How about sourcing? That's what I really want.
That's fair. That's fair.
I give me sourcing for ship skins. Give me
How about-
sourcing for hailing frequencies, for projectiles, for things that. What about that old Enterprise D skin? The battle scarred one? How about a zombie crab? Oh, Doss would love that. Doss would love that.
Here's a good piece of feedback. How about a token once a month that you can get to redeem a cosmetic of yesteryear?
You see, that would be cool.
That would be cool.
Yes, Simon, I do want the D. I want the D skin.
One thing, if they're gonna add a hailing frequency, they should be adding player hailing frequency, like the one player. I can't believe I'm be saying this because it's gonna boost his ego. There's currently there is only one player that has an entire system named after him. There should be a pirate hailing frequency in the game.
You just want a taco hailing frequency. That's why you're saying that.
I mean, I don't
know,
know if I'm going to win, but vote for Taco if you're on VIP.
Oh,
there
They could have it on a Discord though, where players could enter and get their own.
Yeah. It would be really easy to put an image file in game. Just saying.
You know,
We've
like how
already done it.
War Thunder has different things that they can stickers like they can put on the ships and planes and stuff like that. Like they could have something like that where, I mean, we don't really see the ships flying or whatnot, but
How about
they could have things like that. Yeah, I mean, a hailing
customization?
frequency is kind of similar to that, or even avatars. Like, please, I want so many avatars that don't come back. And when they had the choose your own packs, I bought them. I did. I will admit it. I paid $100 for Spot. Like, I did it. Okay, I'm sorry, Mom, but I want all of them. Like yeah. I am with the token idea. I'm totally down with that.
Jen says, give me avatars. Hell yeah. That's not a bad shout. A token would be awesome. I see you, Corey. Seeing what you're doing. I do want the D. It's true. I'd love to be able to put the D skin on my Enterprise E.
Rams
That'd be
Scoop.
great.
Someone cracked the window. It smells like whale in here.
Well,
What?
you
We're
know,
telling people we're asking for a free token. I'm asking for a free token every month so that we can get a cosmetic. That's not a whale thing, Ram Scoop. Come
something
on.
at the end of your battle pass, perhaps, or at the end of
Yeah,
your 28-day login calendar.
And you know, MJ, that's so the one thing, right? If you listen to, and maybe not necessarily the theme, right? But obviously, when you've got the culture chains on their side of the house, right? And when you're talking players, I think the one thing that can help with that, especially just where the community's at,
Yeah.
is even if the gameplay itself, right, is struggling on the tech and all of that, one of the things that they can do is quote unquote make it fun, right? If you're listening to a lot of this, right, like hailing frequencies, right, avatars, skins, any of that stuff that just make it personalized to an extent. And I understand they want to be protective of the IP as well, right? We've got to make sure, because I know that there's going to be some folks doing some silly things. Don't get me wrong, but
Sure.
I think bringing back the fun or the funny or that kind of thing, I think would go a long way. And even as much as it's cheesy, I think if you can lighten that mood a little bit, it would maybe change again the culture. So I guess I got to throw in some bits and whatnot in there. But right, I think that would be something. And those are just little bitty pieces, little things that they can do that kind of break that bit of that monotony of just like, oh, this is horrible.
Well, I'll tell you what. Here's what we're gonna do. Since we've went this whole time, and we've been hanging out and having such a wonderful discussion. Ultraretica, I see you there. We're gonna go through this ad break that starts in 90 seconds. Okay, if you want to skip the ads, sub to the channel. You know what to do. Otherwise, if since people have been so gracious and so kind and hung out so long, we're gonna do a merch giveaway. Okay. But the reason I'm doing it is because people actually listen. They come and they hung out. And I can't pay it out tonight, but I will gladly pay it out by Friday. So once we come back from ads, I'm going to load up marbles, and then we're going to raid out. That's our plan. So hang tight, everybody, while we get booted in. And be aware, again, to the winner, whoever that may be. It'll be Friday before I can send you a code. So, just so we're all on the same page. Okay? Now.
That's awesome. And MJ, just to throw this out too, just with the topics that we had tonight, the one thing that I will say with the passion and the emotions and everything, that the chat and the community, and for those that are listening that are just, oh, the players are just upset. The fact that you were able to, and you have these open mic nights, and that players are able to come and express frustration or express whatever it is, but do so in a way that is, we'll call it respectful. That's not ranting and raving. That's not just throwing expletives everywhere. And that, I think that's a great thing. And again, that also to your credit, is making sure that the players can come, express their feelings, express their concerns, but do so in a respectful manner. So I think that's a
Thanks,
good
man.
thing for the channel and for just the community in general.
I appreciate that, because we work really hard to make sure that people do get to use their own voice. That is an option, and as long as I'm still here, that will be an option. So, just hands down, that is the goal. You have your own voice. I don't have to speak for you. I just give you a place where you can do it. So, chat, those of you that can still see and hear me, I need a number, chat. 1 through 10. 7 says Martok. I'll take it. 1, 2, 3, a 4, a 5, a 6, and 7. All right. This is a short track. The record holder for this channel is Mufasa with 1 minute 20 seconds. So we're going to wait. We're going to let people get loaded in. So chat, if you want to, start spamming exclamation point play. Let's get your balls on the board. And this will be for your choice of a mug, mouse pad, rocks glass, tier one merch giveaway here. So get your balls on the board, people. And we will I'll take the vengeance. Well, I mean, I can make you a piece of merch with a vengeance if you want it, but you know, play. You don't need my vengeance. I need my vengeance. You can't have it. I'll take a pic of the family Xmas card for the fridge. Done, Corey. I got you. We'll see how that goes. Get your balls on the board, people. Exclamation point play. Just remember, it'll be Friday before I can pay this out, okay? Just a thank you for you guys hanging out and listening. I know we didn't get that many like subs, tips, donos, whatever. Guys, I'm not worried about that. This stream was not for that. This stream was for something else. So
Friday is in tomorrow?
It's Thursday, right?
Yeah, today's Thursday.
Then yeah. I think I get paid tonight. So yeah. Yeah, tomorrow. Be tomorrow. And Simon with 5 gifted subs. That's not what I wanted you, Simon. Damn it. That's not what I meant. That's not what I meant, Simon, but thank you. No, I didn't. I said paid. Paid. Cottontail. What the fuck, bro? Cottontail. Brother. Lord of mercy. Thank you, Simon. I'm surprised I didn't kick off a hype train. I've seen somebody donate bits, too. That's weird. Normally it does. Normally it does. Retro did 100 bits and Simon did 5 subs. Why no train? Interesting. Rosito with 100 bits. I still don't know why no train. No idea. That's weird. Cottontail with 169 bits. That's sexy. How do we not have a train, bro? How do we not have a train? Thanks, guys. It's Shockwave. Jesus. We should be back from ads, so I'll give you guys another minute or two. Exclamation point play. Get your balls on the board. Yeah, I guess it's not. So I don't know what's going on there, but it's fine. It's not a big deal. We don't need a train. We don't need a train. We're already giving away a piece of merch. Although Retro in with 5 as well. Where's the train, bro? What the fuck? Did we break hype trains? Uh-oh. 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 Maybe. Jesus, Picard. Why you gotta be like that? Thank you guys. I appreciate y'all for donating to the channel. That kind of thing needs a report. Corey. No, Corey. He told me to check my... Dude! What are you doing? Thank you, Corey. Corey with the, Okay. So Corey said we are doing, and I actually already got my paycheck, so that's cool. Corey said we are giving away 3 pieces of merch. There you go. So that's happening. You got another 60 seconds. I'm going to push the play button. I'm in on the race too, but of course I am not the winner here. Exclamation point play. Get your balls on the board. Let's do the thing. 60 seconds on the clock. I'm going to have to put the baby back down, though, because, again, I'm getting chewed on because those teeth are coming through. You guys see this? Here, I'm going to hold the baby up so you can see what I'm talking about. Look
She
here.
wants to be the co-host for the Marvels.
Look at
and
this.
that's why she's chewing on you.
Do you see these sharp little teeth? I don't know if you guys can see it or not. I want to get kind of close. Look there. Right here. These two front teeth. Yeah. Yeah.
Zombie baby. Zombie baby.
Zombie baby.
Not
20
zombie,
seconds.
crocodile baby.
Haitian lover, get your balls on the board and follow the channel, my dude. The new Buckeyes mascot? Hell yeah. Or Bucky's.
Every time you say balls on the board, I think of how Hemingway died.
That's a you
Oh.
thing, Shock. I don't know. Here we go.
Wowza.
Here we go. Well, here we go. Oh my. Oh my. So people are dying already. They got no grabbed. Cruzito, you're in the lead, dude. I don't know how you're surviving here. I don't know how you're surviving. Retro. Jen, I've lost. Cruzito's back in the lead. Cruzito's back in the lead. Followed by John Spartan. Followed by me. Now I'm in the lead. Not sure how that even happens. Cruzito's got some speed.
Chief.
Up. Poofy's rolling up right behind Cruzito. This will be close. This will be close. Who's it going to be? Cruzito or Poofy? And the winner is Poofy. Congratulations. Reach out to me on Discord, Poofy, so I can and let me know what you want
That's
from
what
the
you
merch
get,
store.
Cruzito. That's what you get for killing people.
That was fast. Y'all got boosted. We're gonna do 2 more merch giveaways. Okay, 2 more. So, gotta wait for the race to finish though. Poofy, yeah, shoot me a DM. Let me know who you are. I don't recognize the name. That's why I'm kind of like, Poofy, and you're subbed. So yeah, shoot me a DM. That way I know who you are and we can get you sorted.
You know my hats want your ads.
Yep, there's the Discord.
Message at MJ Hat in every Discord for me.
Here is the merch link. Go into the mjhat.store and check it out and tell me what you're looking for there. Okay? We'll get you sorted. Tonight's giveaways are sponsored by Corey, so thank you, Corey. Poofy, you might to avoid Cruzito for a few days. Yeah. So let me take the screenie of this. With a new record, by the way, 57 seconds. That's a new record for our channel. So you've beat Mufasa's time.
Oh, and that was his first one as well. Congratulations.
Yep. Thank you for following, Haitian Love. Appreciate you. So I'm going to hit random here. We're just going to go to a new track. And as soon as the screen changes behind me, exclamation point play. Get your balls on the board. This looks like just a regular race where we go in a circle. So this will be kind of interesting. Get your balls in. Jay, I seen you beam in there, Jay. Exclamation point play. I'm going to join in as well for shenanigans. Yeah, guys.
So if you win, would that be an extra giveaway?
Today, yes. Why not? To hell with it. Today, yes. We can do that. On a normal day, no. But today, absolutely. You want to put a marbles ping out, Taco? Do you have a second?
Yes, I will. Yeah.
Okay. We'll give people a couple of minutes to get back in. So, we got one winner so far. And again, 2 wins. Don't forget, it's a tier system. A tier 2 win, 2 wins, will get you a mouse pad, a towel, like one of the golf towels, a shirt, a hat. And then the big boy, tier 3 win, that is the full-sized daily pools or the free towels, like bathroom towels. So, because those are quite expensive, like $60 a pop. So, or a Vengeance? No, Ram Scoop, not a Vengeance. Yep, Crucito's absolutely right. I wish I could pin that, but because you highlighted it, I cannot. Guys, I don't know what's going on with the hype train. They're turned on, Retro. I have no idea. I don't ever turn them off. But do not forget to contribute to... Yeah, I'll pin that one. There you go. It's pinned at the top of the chat there. Please, 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 pin... Or, I'm sorry. Donate to the Culture Jar, because if we can hit that 500,000 goal by the end of the month, then we can do... Well, not by the end of the month. By the end of the 30 days... We'll
have
we'll make some
76
Culture
days
Jar
left.
merch. We have how many days left? 76? No.
76 days left.
It's not. It's 26.
And we are at 50. We're at,
26.
that's
You can
what I
only set
said,
it for 30.
26.
You said 70.
Oh, oops. I might have ate a
Jeff.
few cookies.
Yeah, you're good. Contribute your points to the jar, folks. We're trying. You will get your points back when we're done, just so you know. All points are refunded upon completion. So, thank you guys. Appreciate you. And Taco didn't share. I mean, that's up to Taco. It's got nothing to do with me.
Oh, share my cookies. You cray.
We hang out in the doobie den for a reason, guys, okay? Get your balls on the board. There are 25 of you. I see 63 watching, and that number will probably go up because a ping just went out. So, get your balls on the board. 2 more pieces of merch to give away tonight.
Welcome in, Shove.
So, I see you guys all donating to that Culture Jar merch. I love it. I love it. The graphic we use for the Culture Jar is what I'm talking about. It's going to go on it. We can do mouse pads. We can do glasses, mugs, whatever. Hell, we can put it on a pair of shorts if you really want it. So, it can happen. Get your balls on the board, folks. Yep, there it is. Thank you, Taco. Thank you. Culture is changing, guys. I see it. But
I was
I realize...
going to say, MJ. I was going to say, if you don't want to use that image, I could remake a design merch that has that Culture Jar.
We might
so it could be a surprise for people to see it if they want to buy in.
Maybe. We'll figure it out. Little Miss Muppet here is being fussy. Okay. All right, 60 seconds on the clock, folks. So, welcome, ex-roomie. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. Wait, were you guys really roommates? You're BSing. Oh, no, RSDJ, they'd never work. I have 4 kids. They'd never work. In Tennessee? DM could not be delivered. Poofy. Join the Doobie Den Discord server and post somewhere and I'll find you. Or Taco will find you. One of us will find you.
You know my hats want your ads. Message at MJ Hat in every Discord for me.
Because, yeah, I don't have my... Like, I'm doing display capture at the moment, so... All right, here we go. We're off. Balls have dropped. This is a wild-looking track, y'all. So I'm kind of just going to hang out with the pack here for a minute. I see Retro already in with shenanigans. Nerves of Steel looks like... Don't trust the list, man, because the list, I don't think it's going to be right. But we got some mega turns here. Hamhadar looks to be in the lead. I'm just gonna Cruzito in with 100 biddies. Cruzito in. There's a hype train. Now the hype train kicks in.
That is weird.
Yeah, I don't know why. I changed nothing, bro. I changed nothing. So, whatever. There's a hype train, guys. Do what you gotta do. This track is not that long, but it looks like Albadron's in the lead right now, followed by Jay. This one's hard to see. It's a wild, dark track. Looks like Chef is coming right up. No, not me. Not me. Not me. No. 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 Somebody pass me, please.
Go.
Okay, Albadron passed me. Good. Good. Oh, no. Albadron. Oh, Jay. Come on. Somebody. Chef. Chef. Chef, go. Chef, go. Somebody that's not MJ Hat. RSDJ. RSDJ for the win. Just barely beats out Wilson. RSDJ, congratulations. You have won. Shoot me a DM letting me know what you want, sir. Probably your own mug, I would imagine. You did finally beat me at something. You did. Yes. You did. It's true. It sure wasn't the race to 70, was it? Did I mention my fleet commander? Huh. There it is.
There is 3 minutes left on the hype train.
Yep. 3 minutes left on the hype train, guys. I need to screenshot this right quick. Did we find Poofy in the Discord or no?
Yes, he is. I pinged him in the general for you for after stream.
Right. Let me get finished here, Poofy, and then I'll get you. Oh, Cottontail gifting out a sub. Come on. There you go. All right.
I'm pretty sure Cottontail's looking for the right people to give all subs to.
Yeah. Fleet Commander John Cena, you better believe it. You better believe it. Exclamation point play, guys. This is race number 3. Get your balls on the board. This will be our 3rd piece of merch to give away tonight. Join. And this will be the last race. Again, Corey, thank you for sponsoring these donations. I appreciate you, bud. Thank you. Ooh. Kiki Jesus, I hope you're good, brother. I hope you're good. Yeah. So, exclamation point play. This is for a tier 1 giveaway. If you need to know what a tier 1, your food. Oh, you're good. You're good. You're good. I understand. Yeah.
I was about to say, did he make another Moose's Foods or for someone else?
No. Oh, Jason V-neck. I see you, Jason. Hiding in the shadows. I'll give you guys another moment to get your balls on the board.
Oh, there's another person I executive producer for. Hey, V-Will.
Yep. My OGGQ Granddaddy MacDaddy Pimp brother, Jason V-neck. How does it go, Jason? Boom boom and all that. Stay frosty, kind of crazy, all the things, right?
V-neck till all are one, brother. Till all are one.
We love you, buddy. I just like giving you a hard time. Guys, 30 seconds left on the hype train. I'm not sure how many. Let me see. Need 2 subs or 730 bits. Bits do count for the upcoming race. So I'm going to push the start button. I got 25 in out of 68. 60 seconds to get in, guys. 60 seconds to get in. Cruzito with 100 biddies. I think that took us down to 1 sub. No, it didn't. 630 bits or 2 subs. 630 bits or 2 subs. Complete the level 5. I'll give away more merch. Like, that's just how it is. But I think, guys, thank you for the hype train. I appreciate you. There were a lot more subs and donos than the hype train accounted for. So thank you for that. 20 seconds on the clock. Balls are about to drop. Let me sit the baby back down. Doing that. She found her chewy thingy. Here we go. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Balls have dropped. Here we go. Last chance. Let's do this thing. Looks like Bacon Fish is... Nope, wait a minute. Who we got? Martok and John Spartan, right neck and neck, coming out, hitting the pads at the same time. This track's kind of funny because it'll slow you down in all the wrong places. But John Spartan, Retro, you're dead.
That's what she said.
John Spartan and Wilson up front again. Wilson, you're always right there, real close. Cruzito in with more chaos. I see you. John Spartan all the way back up. Oh, Hygen boosted. Jason V-Neck crawling in there with his Iron Man looking marble. That's sweet. John Spartan, Hemhadar right there. Hemhadar takes the lead though. Oh, and gets blocked. Martok though. Jason V-Neck, you're dead. Haitian Love, I see you, I see me. If I win, I mean we re-race and there's another giveaway tonight. So Martok, come on. You got this. Martok, you got this. Martok, where are you going? That's the wrong way. Oh, I'm dead. I don't know how I died, but I'm dead.
You rigged it.
Wilson's dead. Jay Powell is on his way. Martok back in the lead. Martok, you are right there, brother. Every time. Cruzito, you're gone. Corey, you're dead. Jay Powell back in the lead. Select few players keep getting, like, right. Oh, Jay Powell, you got stopped. Martok, though, got stopped. Ultravetica, you're dead. Baconfish, you're dead. John Spartan, 117. Master Chief getting up front there. Oh, no, wait, that's not Master Chief. It's 187. Yeah, my bad. Demolition Man. John Spartan got robbed. Broken Wolf got robbed. Susie Q. Congratulations,
Wow.
Susie Q. You are the winner of a piece of merch from mjhat.store.
Let's
Reach out to me on
go.
Discord and let me know which one you want. Here, I'll throw the link back in the chat. Just let me know what you're wanting. Again, that is mjhat.store. And guys, of course, you don't have to win a marbles race to get some MJ swag, if you will. You can always just go get some yourself. I mean, it helps me give giveaways away. So, I mean, what can I say, right? Susie Q, reach out to me on Discord and let me know what's up. Let me know what you're wanting from the store. Again, any rocks glass, mug, standard mouse pad,
You know my hats want
There's
your
also the
ads.
Doobie Den, the Discord
Message
server.
at MJ Hat in every
You're welcome
Discord for me.
to do the thing there. And I want to thank everybody for coming in tonight, man, because we've had a really good conversation. There was a lot of talk about the bans that were taking place on my server in particular. We had several of my Alliance members come up and speak on behalf of not only me, myself, but the entire server36 community. We stuck together, we held to our guns, and I really hope we get some answers. If you're catching this on YouTube, please don't forget to follow, sub to the channel, like the video, comment down below, all the things, as all the VODs go over to YouTube. That being said, guys, thanks, Corey. I appreciate that, because, I am a zombie, after all. Don't forget, I am a zombie. Again, guys, I want to thank you all for coming out tonight. Thank you for hanging out with us. Broken Wolf, You want to find us a raid target, my dude. That would be fantastic. And yeah, don't forget, Corey sponsored tonight's giveaways. Show him some love, man, wherever he goes. Corey or Viller, whatever you do. Jason, thank you for coming in. Guys, please be excellent to each other. Oh, stay frosty, guys. Be good. And yeah, that's gonna do it for us. Broken Wolf, smash that beautiful raid button, and we'll see you next time. We'll see you Sunday. Deuces.